you guys are essentially stepping into the basement of the sleeping giant with Ansel and Vanton covering your backs. You all are basically like walking down this staircase that you saw them previously take Tyrell. Well, I guess Burke and Justin saw them previously take Tyrell and Edrin down the stairs. You see as these stone stairs initially start to go off to your left, and then they start to turn around a 90-degree corner going to the north of you, turning to the right from there. And then after about 15-20 feet, they start to look left, and you would see a door ahead of you at the stairs. I think I have it set up in order of Justin, Victor, Ezra, Burke, but you guys can switch that around how you want, depending on how you all want to progress forward.
I think it makes sense to maybe have Justin in the lead, trying to sort of head down quietly.
Yeah, I'm okay with this. Oh, actually, no, wait. Victor's gonna take a step behind Ansel.
Want to be behind Burke?
Oh, yeah, my bad. Burke.
That's okay. We don't know each other. All right, Victor. Well, you.
I'm not really good with the, hand to hand. Back here.
All right, so I'm going to try to quietly move up to this door here, and I'm just going to kind of take a moment to listen at it, see if I hear any noises coming from the other side.
You can do a perception check. It doesn't seem like there's anything on the other side of the door. From what you can hear, you hear perhaps the sound of some torches, and maybe a little bit of trickling water, as if the foundation is like a poor quality or of some sort. It seems to be moist on the opposite side.
And so I'm going to try the door, see if it's locked.
So as you open the door, I can't do this pressing shift. As you open the door, you see a rather large, like maybe 60 by 40 foot room before you. You're basically on a landing that overlooks the rest of this room about 15 foot below that. The landing goes both to your right and to your left, turning very quickly into stairs. Each side of the landing seems to walk around in that U-turn, coming down the stairs. You see sconces on both the north end and the south end of this room, as well as a few other torch sources in the room itself, and a pool of water on the far western side, as well as different goods and whatnot. There's a lot of different crates and barrels set up around the room.
Okay, do we see any doors?
I think the door that you can see from where you're at is on the far western side, north of the pool of water.
All right, so I'm going to turn back to the others, suggest we... I don't see anyone in the room, but suggest we try and move quietly. And I'm going to motion that I'm going to go to the right, the right landing, use those stairs. So the one actually above us. And start moving forward kind of stealthily.
Me too. I'm gonna for house stuff. Guess you'll do it.
Just let me know when to stop moving.
Overall, give me more of a description of what you all are going for. Like, you could hold off here for what it's worth as you all separate there.
I think we're going for getting a better view into the space from the lower down on the.
Oh no, what I meant is, you don't necessarily have to move your pieces on the map so much as describe what you're trying to do here. The fact that you all separated was going to cue me to give you more information. So, Burke, as you twist around to the south side, going in that direction, you see that there is actually a tunnel beneath the stairs, behind some of those barrels, essentially just south of where Justin is right now. There's actually a walkway that goes beneath those stairs, and you see a door that's basically blocked off. Yep, exactly. That's basically blocked off by those barrels there. And there's a door that leads north from there. And other than that, you all still have a pretty similar view of the room. It seems to be a symmetrical room in that H shape that you're currently seeing. And again, it's still just that one door to the west, and then the door blocked off behind those barrels.
I'm gonna try to get Justin's attention and point to his left if there's something there for him to look at, maybe balcony.
So I guess I'd try and take a look over the balcony. If I can't see it from my vantage point, I would probably then continue down the stairs, sort of into the room itself around here.
Yeah, like from your vantage point, it looks more like a cubby hole or like a storage, like alcove. You would have to almost like get prone on your belly to like bend your head down over the stone structure to look at the door, because essentially the door is north of that. So
Recessed in.
yeah, the door, actually, I don't think you can even see that because of the shadow. The door is essentially right there.
Got it.
Okay, yeah, so like a bridge. Got it.
Yeah. Like, and that's why I say, like, the moment Burke went to the south, you would be able to see, like, looking back at Justin, you would be able to see that there's, like, that alcove there. And there's a similar alcove on this side, filled with, like, materials, barrels and stuff, but there's clearly no door.
All right, so at that point, I would sort of head down onto the sort of down the rest of the stairs until I can sort of see what Burke is pointing out.
Yeah, so you essentially now just have that same information without making any noise to share it.
Okay. And then I would sort of I would glance over towards the door on the west, sort of north of the pool of water, and then look back over to Burke and the others and ask whether, should we check that out first or check out this other sort of more concealed door.
We need to clear the room so that we're alone here.
Not a bad idea.
All right,
Yeah.
so that sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm just gonna say I'm also for clearing this room first before checking what's underneath us. Oh, well, the sealed door.
I'm gonna sort of still trying to move quietly, try and move over towards that door on the western wall.
Oh, I'm sorry. You gonna say something?
I mean, you can share what you were going to go for. I was just going to describe further.
I was gonna just do a just a perception check to see if there's anybody hiding in the room when I was back up on the landing.
You can do a perception from up there. Yeah, it's going to be a weird DC because there's a few different levels of light in this room, how it is. Looking over the room, you can tell that clearly the lighting is illuminating predominantly this eastern side. And this is a part of what I was going to describe next anyways, is essentially that western side of the room is visible to you, but it's cloaked in shadow. This is one of those things where outside of the initial light, things get difficult to distinguish because it's grays and blacks. You're no longer actually seeing in color anymore. And coming down the stairs, getting a little bit closer to it, you start to actually gather a little bit more perception of the height of this pool. It seems to be a structure that's built like on top of the stone to collect water. But as you actually go a little bit deeper into this room, you do get a sense that that western side is cloaked in shadow, but you also don't really feel like there's anybody hiding in it. You don't see movement, you don't really hear anything still, but as you look around, you would definitely gather that all of the light sources are on the east side, and I think that would put you at some unease as to the western side of this room.
The light sources, are they like just they torches on the wall, or are they what are they?
Like the ones near where Jason is, those are like tripods, like with like sconced like not torches, like fuel sources basically sitting on a tripod. The ones on the wall, like those are much smaller. Those are much closer to a torch.
Yeah, I was gonna try and rip one off if I could. Yeah, like a off.
It's not like a traditional torch for carrying. You would basically be separating it from its fuel source.
Oh,
Like
and never mind then.
it's probably closer to what most people would call a lamp, where there's like a fuel source, like a fuel container below, and then like a metal piece of like blacksmith iron that holds a wick and like pinches it at the top, so it's siphoning the fuel up to this top point and then burning very slowly at the top.
Gotcha. Okay.
Burke wants to examine the door and the goods that are in front of it. Like, does it look like this gets much use? Is it?
Do
Is
an
it-
investigation. There does seem to be like traffic in that direction. You very quickly notice that there's like actual like dust and particles. I'm about to sneeze one second.
His description made him sneeze.
Right, yeah. I saw a
You're good at this.
floating
Yeah.
I saw a floating piece of like pollen the other day, and I'm like, oh fuck my allergies. So the southern side, you actually notice that there's like dust and particles that have collected around those barrels. And as you move forward towards that northern end to look at that, you notice it seems much cleaner on that side. There's actually like paths that must be worn through this. And the first thing that you pick up to like kind of look at as you're going through, it's empty. It weighs nothing. It's most certainly meant to look like a storage alcove, but very quickly be clearable, essentially. Like with no effort.
All right, so I'm just gonna try to relay that to Justin. It's like a secret door over there that I'm pointing at. I want to post up there. Is there any way to like keep that door shut? Is there got a latch or a bar or anything? I'm all out of door wedges right now. Maybe I can get some later.
I would say it would be the type of thing that you could wedge a dagger or like a python into the ground, but without like expending some equipment. I'm not sure if there's really.
I'll be sure to get some of those down the road.
I actually happen to have some climbing pythons.
Hey, Justin, can I have a python so I can wedge the door shut?
Sure. Hand it to him.
Yeah, if you guys ever want to talk my theory of some of the most useful mundane items, I am down to kick it and speak about some of those things out of character at some point. Because there's some incredible stuff to drop like 5 extra gold on buying the shit that you will need. Do like any adventure ever.
Yeah, well, I want Chris to build that flashlight still. So still thinking about
The
that.
flashlight was one of them. I think Justin and I spoke about the bell and the string, like the fishing twine.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
I remember that.
Pythons instead of door wedges makes perfect sense to me. All right, so I'm going to try to like get the door to stay closed because I think bad guys might come to that door.
Cool. Hmm. You
Uh,
want to even? No.
what
Go
were
ahead.
you
Ty, you
saying,
don't
Ty?
agree?
I was gonna say, like, do we want to see if we can maybe a way for us to some sort of ambush or something? We could maybe use that doorway, that path.
Yeah, no, I think we will. I think the wedging will be reversible.
Okay. So we're okay. You're saying we're gonna clear
Just while
this.
we
but then
clear
it's-
this room,
Gotcha. Okay.
so they don't come rushing in from behind us. That's
Yeah, I was taking a look up there earlier, and I don't really see anybody hiding, but yeah. All right, we'll clear this first.
Let me get an intelligence check from you, Burke.
it's usually much better than that. It must be a little foggy today.
You throw a wedge in there, and you're pretty confident that that door is blocked off while you all need it blocked off.
Cool.
Really
I'll
makes
use
the
some
player
more.
confident.
All right.
Yeah, it's hard for me to roll that low. And I did. So.
You have no modifiers to that, right?
Yeah, but
Or
it's
is
still
that
hard to
just
roll. It's not that easy to roll a 3.
Yeah. All right.
And when you roll with advantage, that's basically down to, what is that? That's like a 1. I mean, that's like less than
400 chance.
1% to roll 2 times under 15% kind of thing. It's crazy.
Mm. Mm.
So that's my achievement so far today, guys. Get those out of the way. All right, so
Yeah.
let's see about this room.
I'm gonna go ahead and light a torch, given how you want to be able to maybe see a little bit better in the sort of dimmer western part of the room.
So with lighting the torch, you do get a much better visual of the alcoves to the north and the south of that actual area. Let me... you can still kind of progress forward as is, but you also very quickly recognize that the pool, nothing's dripping into it. There's a further water source that's kind of hidden from the actual pool itself. But yeah, that side's like lit up better at that point. There's about like a foot barrier like around the pool itself in this little alcove or this little storage area.
I was gonna ask really quick. Can we tell by what's by looking at these crates what's in them? Is it like writing or anything on them?
Like just like a visual inspection, can you see anything?
Yeah. Just curious.
Visually, there's nothing in particular. On that 21, you could note that a few of them have markings of a sleeping creature, pretty like large creature, like burnt into the side. But overall, there's not really anything visually that you can get.
Gotcha. Okay.
And in case it wasn't clear, that's a sleeping giant.
Yeah. I figured. Yeah. Like they're a little label. Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm trying to get better at not describing most places as having a name so much as they have a like branded image of what their name is. Because most people can't read.
Makes sense.
All right, so now with the torch lit, I'm going to step over closer. I'm just going to take a look in the pool, see if there's anything. There doesn't seem to be anything in the water, or can I notice like where there's like any source that the water's coming from?
My bad. I feel like it like kind of muted you a little bit as I pressed my shift button. What were you saying? Look over the water, and then I feel like I heard like scorched marks, but I don't think that was correct.
Oh no, just like to see like if there's anything in the water, or if I can make out like the source of the where the water is coming from, just from like a visual inspection of the pool.
All right, let me have you do a investigation. So there doesn't seem to be a terribly clear source of the water in this pool. As you put the torch over the water and start to look in, though, you do recognize that this pool is much deeper than it would at first seem. It's not just this like foot over the tiling. It seems to be like a deep recess into this basement.
So I'll note that to the others. And I'll go continue on and check this door to the left.
Same idea. Are you like going to check to see if it's locked? Going to check to like listen?
Yeah, so I think I would listen at it first. So I sort of get
So
close
do
to
another
it.
perception there. From within, you hear signs of like snoring.
So I'll look back to the others and whisper that there's at least one person on the other side sleeping.
Made quite a ruckus upstairs, right? We were pretty loud.
No, I think only one of them really woke up when we were murdering them.
If I recall offhand, I feel like it was the second person in initiative like started to wake up. I feel like one of the characters who was going across the room, I load low as hell for stealth, so they basically tripped, and that ended like the full-on surprise.
I think that was me.
Yeah,
I
so
stabbed
after
the
that,
dude and fucked
people
up.
started to wake up, but they were still surprised. So you all did pretty good at keeping most of it quiet and combat free from you guys like getting hit, but there was definitely noise. But you're already, what was it? It was like 20 foot of stairs down and then another 15 foot of stairs, and like across this room is another like 40 or so feet right now. You guys are pretty far in this stone structure. Yeah, it's a 60-foot room, like from that edge. There's
You wouldn't hear
not.
too much, yeah.
Yeah, you don't really feel.
Unless it was like a thunder
Echo of
wave,
the
maybe.
stone is one thing, like for transferring the noise, but like the stone with the earth around it, inside of a basement, you're not really too worried about that noise transferring. But it is definitely something to keep in mind that there is certainly dangers of echoes. But yes, definitely not a thunder wave.
Gotcha. All right.
What do you think, Justin? We'll go in there and murder them?
Assuming it's a Redbrand, sort of wait for the others to get sort of closer.
Go back
And
up.
right, then
And there's
I'm going
not a
to,
door to the south of the pool, right? Map, it doesn't look like that. Right about that?
Yeah, the south side of the room does not seem to have a door.
We'll come back later. Maybe we'll drop some lit object in the pool and see.
yeah, I'm definitely curious about it. I think at this point I'll go in.
So let me have all of you roll a stealth as you're opening that door. That's going to be sufficient at that point.
Ooh.
Yeah, even with disadvantage, there's nothing bad going to happen from that. So yeah, you guys open this up. You very quickly recognize this is another storage room, that there are 3 of these thuggish type Redbrands laying down, sleeping inside of this room, and pressing shift is so that is what you see as you open the door, and they seem to be sleeping.
So Justin's going to turn back to the other, sort of draw a finger across his throat. Suggest we just try and quietly take these 3 out.
Kirk's eager to do.
So I'm going to gesture towards the one on the top left. I'll suggest Burke take the one at the top right, and then if either Ezra or Victor wants to try for the one on the bottom here.
Would you gesture at Ezra? Rock, paper, scissors.
Okay.
But roll for it.
Chris, I didn't know you were here, man.
Want to roll like 3 times, and whoever gets the highest rolls, I guess.
You see who gets the highest roll in the first one.
Okay.
Do a d6. 1 and 2 is rock. 3 and 4 is paper, and 5 and 6 is scissors. And each of you roll a d6.
Okay.
So rock and paper right there. So Edrin wins.
Fuck. All right. Wait, 2 out of 3?
Yeah, I won.
All right.
You can have my guy. I'm the noisiest one.
I'll take the bottom one. It's all right. I got it. Oh, wait. Did you want to get him or did you not want to get him?
I'm just gonna be noisy on my way to get him.
Oh, no. I was talking to Ezra if he wanted to get that third guy on the bottom.
Yeah, I wanted to try.
Oh, okay. All right. I was fine then. All right. Yeah, sure. Go for it.
That was definitely one of my questions. Are you all playing to attack him or to not attack him?
We can all. I mean, we can both attack him, right?
I'll just hang in the back, and if Ezra's attack goes wrong, I'll blast him.
Yeah, it
Burke,
seems
if you're
fair.
gonna be Burke, if you're gonna be loud, I can also try to just like sneak in, take one out before the others wake up, and I can take one out, then I can take another one out, and really try and murder all three before they wake up.
I think we
Get my assassin on.
Throughout you all walking through this area, his armor definitely clinks and clanks pretty loudly. He's not a quiet person, but you all can go about this however you would like.
I can be the backup and come barging in when they all wake up. You guys want to sneak in there if you can. I mean, you're better at it than I.
We should probably do that, actually.
I'm fairly stealthy too, so I can go in there with you, Justin.
Cool.
All right, so Edrin, you want to take the one, or Ezra, sorry, you want to take the one, the top right instead of Burke. Burke, you kind of hold back and be ready to come in if
Yeah,
they
I'm
wake
ready.
up.
I'll be here for the water monster.
All right, and then Victor, you can take the one on the bottom.
Got it.
Is it safe to assume that you have something lit up right now, Burke?
No, we haven't. I don't have anything lit up yet. Justin has it.
That's called a DM clue. So you guys can move forward with your assault. You can place yourselves around your targets.
I don't know if this is too much, but I was gonna try and just shoot him with a crossbow here.
Certainly interesting, but it's definitely a possibility.
Wait, hold on.
I'm gonna throw it out there. If you don't use magic, attacking from right next to somebody, you have advantage, and you auto crit if you hit. If you're using something ranged, you are at disadvantage. They are
I thought I'm
prone
still...
sleeping.
All right. I'm just gonna melee then. I'm just gonna take out my hand axe and look at the others and prepare to swing at this guy.
And as they're preparing, is that where you're just waiting there, Burke? Or are you gonna like enter behind them?
I'm gonna block up the doorway, and I guess once things start, I'll cast light on my shield.
Alrighty, so let me have you all roll initiative.
Oh, weird. Sometimes it rolls 2 dice, and sometimes it doesn't. Wrong.
I think about 2 weeks ago, I think Roll20 did an update to their system. It changed a lot of shit. One of my players had a lot of issues with the rolling system, and I ended up actually fixing mine because I was testing things for that player to try to figure out what it was, and then I broke mine for one of the games I play in. I reinstalled it, and it all worked fine. Like the Beyond 20, I reinstalled that, and everything was working fine. But I think Roll20 did something about, I guess it's 3 weeks ago now. It's hard to tell with time and coronavirus right now. I still don't leave my house much.
Sounds right.
Oh, wait, I forgot to highlight my character when I rolled it. initiative.
Yeah, definitely let me know because I usually don't notice those things.
I thought I did, but I did not. So I
You're
did
in
the
there,
same thing.
Victor's in there.
Am I in there? Oh, what the fuck? Why am I underneath all the zeros?
Oh, it's not like in an order yet. I've not actually rolled their initiatives.
Okay. Gotcha. We do get a surprise round, though, right? We got this little plan going
Well,
on.
surprise rounds don't exist. These guys are going to be surprised.
Oh, okay.
And then they're going to attack twice around after that.
Gonna let Burke do this shit.
The learning
Just don't
experience.
miss.
Yeah, surprise round is like one of the biggest like confusions in how people understand surprise works. I don't think these guys have big reactions, but essentially your ability to react after your turn is what sets off being surprised from a surprise round. But it will start with Justin. You have advantage on this attack.
All right, so I'm gonna pull out my rapier. Try
Pretty
to
sure if you hit, you're gonna kill him. What a waste of a crit, because you
Wow.
auto crit
Yeah.
as well. But yeah, you can roll that as a crit. So 18 and 17. Yeah, that guy's, or 18 and 15. That guy's super fucked.
All right. And then I'm going to.
Well, for what it's worth, how do you kill that guy?
Just slip the sword right through his throat, essentially cut off any chance of him like letting off a sound.
Alrighty. There's the slightest bit of a bubbling sound, almost as if a small child is losing the last of their breath while they exhale through a straw into their chocolate milk.
Jesus. All right.
And oh, my bad.
Sorry, go ahead.
Nope. To you, I was ending your turn.
I think I'm just going to. I don't really need to move, so I'll just. Yeah, that'll be it for me.
So Burke, you're just casting light this turn.
Yeah, I'm going to cast light on my field.
And Ezra, what are you doing?
I am stabbing down with my scimitar. See if I hit.
Attack with advantage. 16 does hit. Roll one more d6. While he is severely injured, as you like cut across his chest, he does like open his eyes, and like stares into your eyes from above. And it's gonna go to Victor. Or well, you can, if you have anything else you'd like to do. Otherwise, it will go to Victor.
No, I'm done there.
Okay. I'm going to try and cut this guy with my hand axe. Okay.
Dude, in my Beyond 20 sheet, you just rolled a 39.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, the 20 plus the 19.
Oh, that's what it is. Yeah. It's just giving me like you rolled one thing, but only you. It's not doing it for anybody.
I feel like your Beyond 20 may be ready for a reinstall.
Yeah, I guess it already did the thing there. Oh wait,
So
you
your
want me to still
critical's
roll
on
it?
the right there. No, it already rolled the critical for you. So you're
Okay.
doing
10.
He also is severely injured, and let's see, what is that? Slashing as well. So it's kind of the same situation where he's kind of looking up at you as you attack down at him. So yeah, essentially these guys, their turns, they can't act, they can't move, they can do next to nothing, but at the end of their turn, they're no longer surprised, which means that they can start to react. As far as things go, this is why people believe in a surprise round, because that's the end of the round. But like, if you attack somebody, or if you basically attacked and then they got their turn and then somebody moved away from them in combat, they would be able to slash at you as you like cleared the space. And that's about the only thing that's different than just you guys go and then it goes to them. And that's why surprise rounds exist, is because it's so much easier to just say, yep, all 4 of you make your attacks and then we'll start combat. So back to the top of the order on Justin. Both of the guys around you are severely injured.
All right, so I'm going to move 5 feet to my south and try to attempt to finish off the one that Victor just slashed with his hand axe.
That will miss.
Okay, and then I'm going to do anything. I'll just hold there.
And then to Burke.
Burke's gonna step into the room, take a swing.
And that will be for a crit. So, well, I'm almost positive he's going to die, but you can roll damage. Yep, that guy's super dead.
Smashed in the forehead. Saved it.
A little bit of tears in his eyes as he was looking up at Ezra. And you smashed in his face. And it's going to go to Ezra.
And I am gonna frostbite the only living Redbrand.
He actually saves, and it will go to Victor.
I will try and swing at him again. Hand axe. Fucking hell.
17
Oh.
hits. He's still prone. 17
Oh,
hits.
okay. Gotcha.
And 1 more d6.
Oh, what? Okay.
Holding on with the littlest bit of life.
I'm not sure if I would consider him lucky or unlucky though.
Yeah, better good clean, quick death than.
All right, he is going to stand up and in the in the throes of course, that's a great way to waste the crit. In the throes of his fear, he steals himself, and he's going to make an attack at each of you. The first one will be against Justin, and the second will be against Victor. So he is a 20 to hit Justin, 12 to hit Victor.
I was right on the money. Mine's
Yep.
12.
Definitely hits me.
And then he's 3 damage to Justin and 4 damage to Victor.
God damn. All right. 4 damage.
And then it'll go back top of the order to Justin.
All right, now I'm pissed. I'm gonna attack again with the rapier.
able to like just dodge to the side of your rapier attack as you almost like stab right next to his chest as he like looks to the side. And I think it was Burke next.
Yeah, I'm just going to disengage and move back a little bit.
Is a bonus action for you to disengage?
Yeah, that's my bonus action.
Gotcha.
Burke's gonna barrel in and try to smash.
Hulk smash.
Yeah.
17 hits. And again, I'm pretty sure he can't live. Yep.
Jing. Aston, you hear anything? You raised any?
You can do a perception check for me, Burke. Doesn't seem to be anything happening around. Kind of that same, just like the sound of the water trickling.
Is this room just a dead end room?
Yeah, this seems to be like a storage closet and like a barracks almost. There's 2 beds like on the north side, and then on that south side, there's basically a bedroll set atop some like crates and barrels that they seem to be making a third. Well, realistically, if you went under the ones in the north, they are also crates.
So I would suggest we just quickly search the bodies in case any of them are carrying like keys or anything like that.
Ask, yeah. Does
Take
anybody
any,
have any?
you know.
Oh, go ahead, man. Bad.
Oh no, that was pretty much it. That and like just take any gold if we find that. But I'm mostly looking for like any sort of key or something.
I guess we'll ask if anybody's got any healing. Or we're pretty fucked up.
Yeah, I can heal you if you want.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I'd appreciate it.
So let me
Burke is
have
surprised, but
Burke and Justin do investigations. Roll a d12 for me, Justin. You are able to find. We'll do 8 silver pieces on the Redbrand, kind of hidden inside of like inner belt almost, like kind of like a hidden like belt pack that a traveler would wear. And then depending on like what you all would want to pick up for equipment, they all have I think short swords that they're functional. There's nothing special about them, but they've got functional short swords.
I might pick up one of those. Yeah, I'll pick up one of the short swords in case I decide I want to dual wield at some point. And I'll take the silvers, of course.
Yeah, and Burke, you can find 2 silver on the guy that you're looking through. So did you expend a healing on Victor?
Yeah, I'll do a cure wounds on Victor.
Yes, use those resources.
Wow,
Just
all
keep
right.
a little
Nice.
healing in your back pocket because I'm down a little bit as well.
So just
At
so
8
you
of
know,
20.
that cure wounds was 100% worth giving you guys 3 Redbrands for nothing. Like, I hope you recognize that expenditure of a spell slot is way bigger than fighting 3 Redbrands.
Yeah.
Like, do you understand? Like, that's what I am trying to suck out of you guys as you move through a dungeon. Getting your limited resources is what makes me win.
Hmm.
And with such gusto, too.
Well, I mean, I gave you guys a surprise. You basically had 2 rounds with advantage. Well, I shouldn't say I gave it to you, but you guys got 2 rounds basically from that surprise with advantage and auto crits, and you still use the cure wounds. Like, that is a huge win for the Redbrands. And part of why I'm
Yeah.
trying to tell you that is because I want you to recognize that your resources are much bigger than like everything else that happens. Like, I track that stuff more than other things.
No, that makes sense. That's why I was like not in a hurry to start.
Yeah,
I don't know how many
normally
hit
I
points
try
the
to
new
warn
guys have
people,
those, so I don't know.
especially with low level players, it is usually more important to keep somebody alive, like in the action economy, than at full hit points. You can be at 2 hit points and still get 1 action every single turn. If you're at full hit points, 1 action every turn. But the moment I knock somebody out, you guys are down to 3 actions out of 4. That's a huge action economy change. And that's why Healing Word is one of the most overpowered spells in the game, because you don't have to touch somebody, and it brings that action economy back into balance.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Kind of keep some healing in your back pocket so you can bring somebody up if I get knocked out or something.
Or we need good berries from the guy upstairs.
Yeah, good berries are powerful as fuck, too.
He didn't give us any. We haven't seen him yet. All right, so I'm kind of guarding the door. What do you want to do, Justin? We poke around in this water hole?
I think we should check out this door. No?
Yeah, I don't have any particular interest in diving into that water just yet.
All right, door. Grab my.
I mean, what's your range on your light spell?
I just thought we'd find something heavy and put light on it and drop it in there and see if there's any.
Hmm.
A big rock around here anywhere?
Or a
Just worried
barrel.
if we do that, what we're going to alert, if
Yeah.
anything.
We can do it later. We'll grab one of their short swords later.
Oh, just for funsies? Is that what you're talking about? Just to do it?
Well, it seems like there's a mystery going on there. I'm interested in it. But let's check out the door. So Burke's gonna pull his python out from the door. Sort of like, good.
Let me have you all do another group stealth check as you're like removing all of those crates and barrels from that area.
Disadvantage on stuff.
Well, it's one of those big things to like remind you early on in the game that having that extra AC isn't always worth it. Especially low levels, it seems important to maximize your AC, but with bounded accuracy, it's a very minimal thing. For later on in the game, it's easier to like make up for having that disadvantage by having like any character with the fucking stealth abilities that like the group stealth ability is one of them. Pass without a trace. It's incredible what that like how that changes the game and your ability to rock disadvantage. But yeah, you guys are able to clear it. You don't really feel like you make too much noise, but everybody's definitely recognizing that every movement Burke makes is the noise that would be heard, but you guys overall feel pretty confident that you're not making too much noise. So you're able to clear that. You're able to pull the python from it. Next thoughts?
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going to want to sort of just listen at the door again after we've cleared everything away. See if I hear anything that sounds like we've alerted anyone on the other side. Or
You can do another perception check.
I can hear anything there.
Yep, it doesn't really sound like much of anything's happening in that other room. You hear the like sizzle of your torch in your hand and the slightest bit of the water trickling to the west of you.
All right, I'm gonna look to the others and sort of like shrug as if to do we reopening this door now?
Eh,
Yeah, let's gather our party and venture forth.
All right, I'll test the door, see if it's locked.
It is not.
All right, go
watch it.
ahead and
Watch it just be a pantry.
all right. So what do we see after I open it?
So I feel like I've now revealed it for you, but you basically see like a short, like 10-foot hallway through this little section. And then it seems like it opens up into a wider, like 10-foot wide hallway. So I should describe that wrong. You see a hallway about 10 feet in opens up and continues for another about 10 feet. And that's vaguely around where your light is lost. But you can pretty much make out a wall on the other side, another stone wall. Inside of this area, you do notice there is carpeting on the floor, and it seems to be a long carpet that crosses the actual path. But if you guys actually progress forward into the hall itself, you see that the hall goes a little bit to the east before stopping, and then it goes about 40 foot to the west before stopping.
That's weird because it's nicer in that hallway than it is upstairs in the tavern.
Shit.
Well, I mean, they had some pretty cozy armchairs upstairs.
Tavern was definitely not a front to hide this place.
All right, so I'm going to stealthily start moving forward. Um, as we get closer to the carpet, can I make out any like footprints or signs of recent foot traffic?
You can do an investigation. There seems to be footprints. They pretty much all turn to the left there. Like there's clearly dust and like not like big debris, but essentially like random shit falling to the east, like to your right. Nobody walks in that direction. Everything seems to go off to the west. You see pretty quickly that there are two sconces about 30 feet down the way. Or not two sconces, two more of those like little torches set up on the wall about 30 feet down the way. Um, Other than that, all of the foot traffic seems to head into that westerly direction.
Okay, going to keep moving in quietly. Wait for the sort of gesture towards the others to sort of come in as well.
After you. There you go.
Ezra seems to like bump into the wall, and Burke's just like, sorry, that didn't even pick it up. But Burke very quietly tells Ezra to shh. I just double critted for you, Burke.
And
Bars.
Burke's really helpful. So charge my stealth? My stealth?
Yeah, 20 then a 20.
Awesome. Awesome. Awesome.
Like, not
Wow.
only are you silent, but I just wasted 2 crits in a row.
All right, so
Yeah, this room seems to have plenty of traffic through it. Overall, like, these aren't like amazing carpets, but this section here is clearly nicer than the storage room that you've just left.
Okay, I'm going to start trying to stealthily continue on west. Does the hallway appear to does it end in a door or?
Yeah, there's double doors at the end of the hallway. And you're just moving up to the doors stealthily?
Yeah. And then I
have
think
you
I'll
roll a dexterity save.
Yeah, there we go.
As Justin moves forward, right as he clears to where those torches are on the wall, the floor falls out behind him or below him. And in the last moment, he just like steps across to the other side, but there's about a 10-foot gap in the floor that falls out below him.
Damn it. Well, what the fuck was
so
that?
I'm going to glance down and did it make a lot of noise when it fell? Or did it seem like it was like a hinged trapdoor or something like that?
Yeah, like it's a hinged trap.
Okay. If I look into the bottom, do I see anything below? Whatever space there is.
It's hard to actually see. I think that's more the 10-foot section. It's hard to see where the actual break is. But the torches are the center of what falls out. Yeah. Yeah, that looks like the 10-foot section, I think. What was your question about inside of it?
Like, if I peer into it, the bottom, do I see anything like below into whatever area it sort of drops into?
Do a perception check. It seems to just be like a 15 foot deep pit. Simply there just to like drop you into it and then keep you contained.
So I'm gonna look back to the others and shrug apologetically. I didn't think there would be. Wasn't expecting a trap, given the
What kind of
traffic.
bullshit
But I
is this?
guess the
What kind of bar is this? It has fucking traps and shit underneath of it.
do we notice if this area seems to be if we notice any difference in like the age of construction versus the upstairs? Like, does this look like it's been recently built, or is it kind of similar to the regular tavern?
Do you have history on Justin?
I do not.
So I think that would just be an intelligence.
Okay.
Which, I mean, it's the same as rolling history anyways, but... I think this would be the type of thing where you can recognize that there is definitely an age difference. 13 was good, but we'll go on that idea that the crit is still kind of there as like a latent. You are aware that this town was destroyed and the ancient foundations exist in most of the actual places of this town. So it's not incredibly surprising to find that going underground, there's something older to be found. So you do feel it's pretty easy to recognize that this is like much older than the actual thing itself. But this is again one of those things where I was often describing the locations of Phandalin as you would see these flagstone foundations with partial stone walls that they were building the fresh wooden frames on top of. So they're building new construction on top of the ancient stone.
Right. Okay. Makes sense.
I don't think you all have a solid understanding of the age of Phandalin, but I think you have started to come across that the Phandelver Pact was like many hundreds of years, and I think you've come across that Cornbahir was destroyed many hundreds of years ago. So much of the reason that this town existed back then was essentially like measured in centuries, not in like tens of years, but in centuries.
Is there any way to kind of look at it and see if I can reset the trap? Like, is there like a handle I can pull or
Do a
button
perception for
somewhere?
me.
All right. I don't know if that. I'm not gonna do it.
So as Justin's actually like looking down into the pit to kind of get a view of it, you actually notice at about that same time the trap actually resets itself. And as you're watching it, you actually see one of those torches on the side of the wall was actually canted out from the wall, and it resets back level into the wall itself, like perpendicular to the floor.
Okay. So I'm sorry. Does it look like I could just pull the or the lantern or whatever on the wall and it would go back up, or like is it like a time thing that it will slowly come back up on its own?
Like when it went back up, the lamp reset into the wall itself.
I got you. Okay.
Is there any room along the, like, does this 10-foot essentially take up the entire hallway, or is there room on the edges to try and like skirt around where the hinged trapdoors fell?
It's the whole hallway. Like that whole 10 by 10 fell out.
Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, side note, Ty, when you notice this, are you sharing with everybody that you saw that?
Yes. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. I say that to the rest of the party when I rest all.
So that's one of those minor things. Sometimes I'll describe something to you, and just taking the moment to say, I'm going to share that with everybody, that's when everybody can really start to think about that without it being on some level meta. Because I'm not going to pull you aside to let you know that, but there is some level of you guys have to, like, actively share some stuff where it's a little bit more personal. But yeah, that's something that you all would recognize at that point, that there's clearly something about those lamps that are connected with the trap.
Oh. Oh. It's 5 feet away though. I don't.
Look like it's possible to hold them in place while have
That's-
one person hold them in place while the other people try and get across.
I think if that one goes down, when the I guess the one on the right goes down, when the trap goes down, I think we pull the other one on the across the way, the shit will come back up. You know what I'm saying? Like the one's to activate, one's to deactivate the trap.
How about the two of you do an investigation here?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, between the two of you, you are able to kind of gather the main idea of how this trap is both set as well as avoided. But for what it's worth, you kind of recognize that there is some sort of a delay, that if you walk over the trap, you can push that candle back into, or that lamp back into place and keep it from dropping out on you.
Ah, so you're right there, Jason. Oh, okay.
Like, yeah, it's the one candle is linked to it, but it is the type of thing that you're able to spot, that it's basically designed, if you walk by and just push it back into place. Like, Jason, you got to the other side of the trap before it fell out on you. Like, you were 10 feet into the trap, so it would get people behind you as well if you didn't know what was happening. And that's in part because it's designed to be deactivated as you walk past it.
Right. Yeah, it makes sense because people obviously are using this hallway, so there's got to be there had to be a way to deactivate it. So you'd sort of share that trick with the others so that they can get across safely. Is there enough room for all of us on the other side of the trap in front of the doors?
Essentially, no. There is some level of, if you guys cross, 2 people can be on the actual floor and 2 people would be on top of the trap. So you could gamble to see if you can hold it in place and deactivated. Otherwise, you'll have to open the doors ahead of you, which they're 2 stone doors, like blocking the entire hallway. It seems to be, like a much nicer door than the other doors that you've come across.
Let's play it safe. We'll just, I
Does it
gamble with
look
that.
like it's possible to get something around the lamp? I'm essentially thinking of trying to set up like a either like rope or using string so that somebody on the other side could, if we're being chased out, could pull it as people are crossing it to sort of activate the trap.
And we wedge the lamp
Is it like,
in
is
place
it
with a pipe.
within, is it? Well, no, I'm thinking like, essentially like
You want to be
if
able to
the,
pull it out to activate it rather than deactivate it, right?
right. So like my idea is if like we say, for example, say we open the door and we see Redbrand and then we try to get back across to the other side where Burke and all them are, have some they're able to activate the trap so that the floor drops out on anybody who's chasing after us.
Let me have you roll an intelligence. You think it would be certainly possible, but you also recognize that if they're aware of how to push it in, it's going to essentially be like mechanically, it's a contested strength check, and you're aware that they might have an easier time pushing it back in than you trying to pull it, but you can certainly try.
Justin, what if I
Okay,
come over there and back you up when we go through the door?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to have somebody there with me before I open it.
Should we do that, or should we try to rig the floor?
I mean, anybody on the other side is probably going to know how to deactivate the trap. I'm not sure it's worth the taking the time to try to rig something up.
All right, so can I cross the trap by holding the torch in place and get to Justin?
Yep, that's no problem at all. You can just move across, deactivate it as you're crossing that point.
So you go quiet, and if it gets loud, I'll come right behind you.
And I would suggest for Ezra and Victor to maybe step back 5 feet. Because if we need to get back to the other side, and actually have room to do so.
All right.
And then just also telling us essentially like be ready to be ready for whatever's on the other side of this door.
Did we get a sense of what was down when the hinge thing was open? Did we see what was down there? There's like just a long fall onto rocks, or
Yeah, I didn't see anything
comfy
except
room,
essentially like a 15 foot deep pit. Nothing nothing special.
Cool. You have a torch and I have my light on my shield. Is that what we want?
Well, if you've got light, I might extinguish the torch for now, so I've got a second hand free.
Okay. Yeah, I have a whole lot of light. Whole shield full of light.
All right. Can I listen at these double doors?
Do a perception. Seems silent.
I don't hear anything, guys. Just be ready for anything. Try and open the door. Try and test it, see if it's locked, I guess, first.
They're pretty heavy. It takes some effort to actually open, but they are not locked. And as you open up into this area, you see a pretty large room, about 20 foot wide, east to west. And at first, your light only covers a good bit, about 10 or 15 feet to the north of you. But there are torches lit inside in the same way. They're about 15 feet from the southern wall. And they seem to be between sarcophagi.
All right, so I'm going to step just into the room carefully. And then I think we don't see anything. I'm going to motion for Victor and Ezra to sort of get over to this side of the trap as well.
We can, just pass.
You're just going to move across and deactivate it as you cross?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yep, that's perfectly fine.
I'll go and step into this room.
Do
Okay.
the sarcophagi look like they've been disturbed or touched recently?
Was it that perception was for listening? Yeah, do a investigation for me. No, this room seems to have limited traffic through the center of it, going to the north. And you would notice that there seems to be a door on the northwestern end of the room, as well as a door on the eastern side, like the northern end of the eastern side of the room.
Okay, so I'm going to kind of surprised to find this here. Are there any? Can we make out any markings or symbols on the sarcophagi? Anything that indicates like who these belong to?
Which one would you like to move up to and investigate?
I'm a little leery of crossing the carpet. I'm going to. Can I sort of investigate the sort of the spaces in front of me up until I reach this
Gotcha, the northern one. Okay, so this is again one of those things where it's more important to me that you all describe what you're trying to do here rather than actually moving your pieces. Because Ezra, are you walking to that point where you're next to that sarcophagus?
Well, yeah, I was. So I'm
Alright.
thinking.
Well,
Yeah,
the moment that Ezra moves across the room and gets next to a sarcophagus, I need you all to roll initiative. Just to
Ezra, it's gonna
clarify,
happen.
nobody has put on one of the red sashes of the Redbrands, have you?
Nope.
Nope.
I am wearing red, but I'm wearing the little sash or whatever.
But it's something that you owned. It's not something taken from one of the Redbrands.
Yeah, no. Yeah, it's something I owned.
Almost as if they had some magical significance. Who's not on there right now? Death?
Oh, yeah, I don't know. I clicked my token, but I rolled a 7.
God damn it, I gotta get out of the habit of fucking starting these guys off. So, as Ezra moves across the room, the wall are going to start to notice that there is movement as the crypt seem to their like covers start to slide off them, and within moments there's these skeletal figures standing up from within, and they start to look down at you all as these tall human figures stand up tall from within. Yeah, let's go to Victor.
Okie dokie. I'm gonna say fuck it, and I'm going to Eldritch Blast this dude to my west, right in front of
Gotcha.
Ezra. With the invocations, do I roll something for them to push for the do I have?
No, your invocations are just, they happen.
Okay.
That's like
Alright.
part of how warlocks are different one to the other, is the invocation choices.
Gotcha. Okay. Alright, let's see. I'm going to hit. Hopefully I hit.
16 will hit.
5 damage. I'm surprised there's no like contest to that. They don't get like a dexterity save or a strength save to that push at all. Let me look it up.
No, as far as I understand, it's part of the force of an Eldritch Blast. It's a force damage, so like once it hits, that's already happening.
I got you.
So what is your aim there?
Oh,
Technically, it's up against the wall. The actual like spacing of the map doesn't really
yeah.
allow.
You would just hit the wall and then maybe go that 5-foot space like there. Or fuck, actually, it just looks like I knock him right back into the coffin. Just sitting right there in that space in the coffin. That's what I would think.
Yeah, I think the problem is that
That would
vague
be.
language as far as things go. I think you could push him 10 feet north if you wanted to.
Oh, just straight north.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because it says in a straight line and away from you. Normally I would say it's either completely negated because he is up against the wall in that diagonal, but it is technically still away from you to go to the north. You definitely could not push it like that, because that gets closer at first, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Also, I have the fuck, what's it called?
Agonizing Blast?
Yes, so I add my
That's
charisma
already
modifier.
included in there.
It is?
Yep, that's the +3.
Ah, okay. Sorry. Continue.
Yeah, that's part of why magic is different. Like, there's not really a modifier for your cantrips until you buy that, or like with a cleric like Burke, I think at level 6 maybe he starts to add his wisdom to his cantrips. There's a certain point where different people start to gain access to their casting ability, adding damage to their spells. Do you want to push it though? Is that still like in the mix? Like you want to push it backward away from Ezra?
Yes. Yes. Yep.
Gotcha.
That shall be the end of my turn. I can't do nothing else.
So the one standing up beyond Justin is going to fire an arrow at Victor with a 14 to hit
That will hit.
for 7 damage. And then on to Burke.
Burke's gonna step up in front of Victor. He's gonna hold out his holy symbol, channel divinity to turn these skeletons. I don't know how to do that on my sheet. Posted.
Can
Yeah, channel
Share your
divinity.
thing?
I think you have to click the actual name,
Oh, there you go.
and then you click that beyond 20. There's not actually like a specific like roll or anything, and then you just have to click that you've used it basically at that point. But channel divinities aren't like a spell, so beyond 20 doesn't actually recognize that you have to cast it at any point.
How's that work? How's that for you?
And then your DC is 13. Well, I rolled 2 2s, and I know skeletons aren't wise, so they're definitely not passing. But one of them's going to be okay with a 19.
So I can do one channel divinity per short rest.
Yeah.
That's like a +10, and that's the same channel divinity I'm doing now to turn bed, right?
I think you have access to your class channel divinity, and then
Yeah, that's the one that's what I'm trying to use. Can you do it more than once?
No.
It's
What
not
I'm
written.
saying is like you've got access to the class channel divinity of Turn Undead, which is what you're using, and then you have Guided Strike, which is your subclass. But those are both your channel divinities that you have one per short rest.
Okay, cool. Thanks. It's my first time facing undead as a cleric. Fine.
I actually thought you could only use, like, you have those two different effects, but you can still only use channel divinity once, because I think at a certain level you get to use it twice between short rests.
Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah.
trying to say. Like, channel divinity is using either of those abilities. Like, you have one channel divinity, but you have that choice of the cleric channel divinity is Turn Undead, and then your subclass has the channel divinity of Guided Strike, but it's still only one use at this level. I think it's level 4, or again, it's level 6 when you get your second one. I think by the time you're 20, you have 4, but it's a pretty limited resource, but for what it's worth, like, they're pretty amazing.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, it's like I didn't understand on the sheet. You know, there's like one place to click that you used it, and a different place to explain that.
Yeah,
No,
and
I'm
again,
good.
that's because technically channel divinity is just that, and then your subclass gives you an extra effect of doing the same thing. Because essentially they're both the same thing, where you're calling on, what is it, your helm?
Yep.
Tempest. You're like calling on Tempest, like raising your holy symbol and calling on the power of Tempest to bring down that power, whether you're turning undead or whether you're using Guided Strike. It's the same act from you to do.
I think that's my turn. Don't touch those two for a little bit.
Yeah, channel divinity, or the turn undead is an action. So
One question on that. If I had done that when I was in within 5 feet, would they have gotten an attack of opportunity?
attacks of opportunity are when the creature willingly moves away from you. So, like, Ezra did not get a chance to attack that creature because it was Victor who moved it away from him. You wouldn't get a chance to attack that creature because it was you who moved it away from. Well, wait.
I was just
I
thinking if I
think
was
you would
casting within
have a
5 feet.
chance. Yeah, you would have a chance when it goes to move away from you because it is willingly trying to move away from you. You would have a chance to use your attack of opportunity to attack it, but you're also aware that attacking it breaks it, or like damaging it breaks it. So you would be able to, with turn undead, were you to close that distance, like go right there and then turn undead, you would have the ability to attack either of those once they started running from you. Or I guess like that.
Okay, so I was considering that, but I didn't do it. And this time I think it's better that we do them one at a time. So, and they all have bows, is that right? They're all skeletal archers of some sort.
You could do a perception check.
Certainly can. Look at that.
You've noticed the one stood up with its bow. The others, it's not clear to you in the actual like act of going about your turn what they are standing up with.
Okay, that's my turn.
Yeah, so I guess it's going to use the dodge action. And we'll go to Ezra.
Can it use the dodge action if it's moved? Or is
Its
it only
action,
if it can't like move at all?
its action is to take the dodge action. Its movement is not an action. So what the spell says, from my understanding, is it has to move as far away from you as it can, which includes taking the the dash action. If it can't move further, it has to take the dodge action. So this thing moves to the edge of the room, and then because it's as far away as it can possibly get at that point, it takes the dodge action. If this were
okay.
a
Yeah.
massive like haul, it would dash before it takes the dodge.
Makes sense. Okay, yep.
I was actually hoping that it would get to move away and then just turn around, pull out a bow, and shoot you. But it specifically has it in there. If there's nowhere to move, it takes the dodge action. So we'll go to Ezra.
I'll move up and swing my sword. Scimitar. See if I hit. At the one that shot Victor.
So as you move past the one to the northwest, or like to the west of you that you would move past, you see it like twitch a little bit as you pass by it. Or I guess more, Burke would probably see that one twitch. 6 will miss.
Yeah, and then I'll end there.
And we'll go to Justin.
All right, so Justin's I'm going to pull out my bow and take a shot at the unturned skeleton that Ezra just attacked.
And this will be with sneak attack. A 9
That'll
will
miss.
miss. It will move up next to you, Ezra, and then move away from you.
Yeah, I won't do anything.
And then take the dodge action. And it will go to Victor.
Okay. Sidestep. Right there, and I'm gonna blast. Yeah. Skeleton right next to Ezra.
14 hits.
There we go. That's
10
what I wanted.
damage.
Yeah, I must have rolled low as shit last time. What's up with that modifier? Yeah, I rolled a 2. I was like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
So yeah, you actually blast like chunks of its ribs out and almost clear like an entire section of its rib cage, like flies away from its body. But the magic holds on, the creature still stands. Are you moving it backward?
Yeah, I'm gonna move it to the north.
It's going to take another shot into Victor. 15 to hit for 4 damage.
All right.
Then it's going to go to Burke.
Burke's gonna charge up with his warhammer. Try to smash this guy. There's a hole in him already.
You swing clear of it and like dink off of the wall with a loud thunk as your warhammer cracks into the stone.
Okay, I'm gonna stay there in front of him. Being very threatening and frightening. Holy. Because I think I'll get an attack of opportunity if he. Well, I don't know what I get when he uses his bow, but something.
I
Doesn't
think
help
he
him.
gets a disadvantage if someone's in his space and he tries to shoot. I think that's what happens.
I'm gonna be in his way. Oh. More dudes.
Somebody is going
Oh,
to
shit.
open the door and just kind of stare out, who? And kind of stops there. So it'll go to Ezra. What would you like to do as you see Burke smash into the skeleton and kind of miss off the wall, and then shortly after somebody opens the door on that side of the room?
I'll try to. Ezra will try to frostbite the guy standing in the doorway.
He seems fine as like a little bit of like frost builds up on his clothing and then almost immediately melts. Into Jason.
All right, I'm going to try and finish off this attack the skeleton again, fire another arrow at it. Jeez, not very well.
10's gonna miss as your arrow like goes through its bones and just clanks against the wall behind.
All right, I think that's it for my turn.
I missed what you did, Justin. What'd you do? Anything awesome?
No, I shot and missed.
I hit
At
you with an
the
arrow.
skeleton. And Ezra
Well-
fired a frostbite at the one Redbrand, but seems to have missed as well.
Stepping. Ooh, I can actually do that. Stepping out of the hall, he's going to make a swing at Burke and one at Ezra. 5 to hit Burke, or 7 to hit Burke. And he is going to crit on Ezra for 2, 5. I think they're +2 damage. I think 7 total damage, Ezra.
God dang.
Yep, they're +2, so 7 total. And then it's going to go to Skeleton taking the dodge action and back to Victor.
Okay. How tall? Like, are these coffins like off the ground, or are they like how tall are they off the ground?
They're probably like 3 foot tall.
Shit. Okay, so nothing like I can take cover behind it and shoot. Does it look like I could do that?
I mean, you can certainly try.
Okay. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to back step to my left, right there. The bottom left corner. I'm going to blast the. Oh fuck! Have the angle. I have to shoot through Ezra to. How does that work exactly? Can I shoot through their space? Or I think we've done that in the past, though, right? Shot through someone's space.
It's really only bad if you critically miss because you have a chance of hitting them, I think.
Okay.
Shooting into combat pretty much always offers cover as well. But it's a 1 to hit your friend, and then it basically adds cover to everybody in that melee because they are not standing still away from each other. They are essentially entangled between each other, like in cartoons where there's like a whirlwind of arms and legs coming
Ah,
out of a circle.
gotcha. Okay. Well, actually, let me do this. I'm gonna.
Here's one of the things that I want to throw out there for people to get a greater understanding of how I envision combat. Part of what I don't like about the initiative order is that I would rather have you all take like a minute to discuss amongst yourselves, tell me what you're going to do, and then play out a combat. Like when Burke killed the Redbrand down there, he killed it, and then Ezra turned and attacked another guy. Ezra would have been attacking that Redbrand regardless of the fact of whether it was a body or a living person. So that's one of the things where these are the same 6 seconds. Everything that happens is happening at the same time. So there is a cloud of melee that is happening. But it's just one of those things. It takes a lot more to switch an initiative system that it's not necessarily ideal for trying to teach people the basics of D&D versus trying to play like my version of D&D.
I see what you're saying, though.
And like I like sharing D&D as much as I like playing like what I think of as like the best rule sets.
Yeah, I'm just gonna do what I would originally thought. Just do this right here. Move behind that coffin, and I'm gonna blast the skeleton that I blasted last time. One to the northeast. Yeah.
16 hits. And that's going to kill regardless of what you roll.
I'm gonna roll for funsies. There you go.
So you'll see as your blast kind of flies through the melee, its bones are scattered against the wall as the magic that seems to animate them is dispelled, and it just clanks to the ground, and shortly after seems to turn to dust.
And that'll be it for me.
And that will go to Burke.
Okay, Burke is gonna take a swing at this guy to his left. Warhammer. And I think that's my turn. How's he look?
Looks like a gentleman in melee combat with you. The one to your east is going to attack you with a 19 and a 17 to hit.
The 19 will hit.
4 damage.
Ouch. Got it.
And it's going to go to a skeleton taking the dodge action and to Ezra.
And Ezra is gonna swing at the guy right in front of him.
Oh, my bad. I didn't see it at first. 11 is going to miss. Onto Justin.
All right. Just gonna a little bit, and I'll take a fire an arrow at the that same Redbrand that Burke and Ezra attack.
Is your Eamon moving up to not have Ezra in line?
It's just sort of more sort of narratively, like trying to get. I know I can still hit him if I
Gotcha.
roll a crit, but I just kind of thought like it looks better if he's sort of on this side rather than firing at like Burke and Ezra. I don't know, but I know it mechanically doesn't do anything.
Roll a d20 for me.
Now I'll roll well.
Roll up. Oh.
Believe 16 will hit Ezra. So roll damage on that short bow. For 5 piercing. Oh, it should be sneak attack. You definitely can't see that shit coming.
Oh my god.
Shit, what does sneak attack say?
You do 1d6 damage to a creature you hit and
You
attack.
can kind of
Redbrand.
throws me for a loop on that. I don't think you have to. So yeah, just take 5 damage, Ezra, and it will go to that Redbrand.
And I mean, it also talks about target, so I guess Ezra wasn't really my target.
Oh, mine says once per turn you can deal an extra 2d6 damage to one creature that you hit with an attack. I don't see it saved. Oh,
But it
it's an
says like you
enemy
don't need
of the target.
advantage on the attack roll. An
Yeah,
enemy
as
of the
far as I
target,
see
yeah.
of it saying like that, like once he's hit, he is the target in that language. And the enemy would
Okay,
actually be
got it.
your enemy.
Okay.
Doing the same thing. His first attack's going to be against Burke, and the second will be against Ezra here. It's going to be a 21 to hit Burke and a 9 against Ezra. 5 damage to Burke.
Got it.
Skeleton dodging, back to Victor.
All right. Well, seeing it do get blasted. Here I'm gonna move up. Yeah, I got enough movement. To here, right behind this coffin, to the west, or to the north of the one I was behind. I'm going to blast the Red Baron that to the west of Burke. Get the fuck out. Yeah. What the fuck? All right.
Roll damage.
I was trash though. It was 10.
Damn, that's like the minimal to keep him in the game. You see like actual like chunks of his flesh like fall off of the bone, but he seems to be alive in some way.
Damn it. What's with the Dell? Like that's the second dual nat 20, right? There's one for Burke for his sneak and mine for my attack. Fucking weird.
And then on to Burke.
So the Eldritch Blast hit the one to my left, is that right?
Correct.
Yeah, that's who I'm going to attack. And
I guess
think
realistically as well, like you could have pushed him, Ty.
Oh yes, sir. Yep. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna push him to the north.
Like that or like that.
Let's do you to actually to the east. There we go. Yeah.
But yeah, it's now
So
the
I'm-
one just north of you, Burke.
Yeah, I want to attack with my. I want to have 2 attacks with my light hammers. I'm not going to move, so can I? Let me do that. I'll attack.
So you can drop your warhammer and your shield and pull your light hammers.
Okay, let's do that, and then just my AC second. And then I want to attack the really damaged one to the north, and then attack on the other one. Drop my shield. That's the first attack.
20 hits. And that will
That's
kill.
the guy. All right, great. And then a hammer attack on the other guy in the doorway.
$19 hits.
Cool. Work feels much lighter.
He's going to swing back at you with 2 attacks. A 2 and a 4, so 6 and an 8. Both are going to miss. Skeleton dodging onto Ezra.
Ezra is going to use Produce Flame and throw it at the remaining red guard. Redbrand.
Roll a d20 for
That's
me.
okay. Yeah.
I was going to say, Ty, I missed it when you went in the other room, but it's
Roll
not you.
another d8. You're going to do 8 damage to Burke as you critically hit him in the back of the head with some fire.
My
Jesus
goodness.
Christ.
Oh my god.
Yeah. My
I
goodness.
mean, not stand in front of you guys again.
That's why not only do I like having critical fails be a potential to hit somebody instead of an auto hit, I like the fact that by giving it the potential, it also has the chance to miss or crit. And it'll go to Justin.
That's fucked.
All right, so seeing as I haven't hit anything with my bow, well, I've hit Ezra with my bow. I'm gonna drop it, move up. I assume I can sort of step over the dead guy's space.
Yeah.
Sort of drawing my. I can't draw 2 weapons on my turn, right?
Not technically, but that was part of why I had Burke drop his stuff. For what it's worth, I don't mind you drawing 2 weapons. It won't always be an option, but as far as getting shit done right now, but the rules have it presented as you have a single free action. But that's where I was like, yeah, you can drop your weapon to draw both.
Okay, so I'm going to draw out my sort of leaving the rapier. I'm going to draw out my short sword and a dagger, and I'm going to attack first with the short sword at the Redbrand.
$18 hits. That'll be with sneak attack, and that will kill.
Hooray!
And did that kill him? Sorry, I didn't. I think you.
Yeah, my bad. That will kill. So you have your other attack with the dagger, and those skeletons are still in the combat.
Go in the other room and shut the door.
That's what I was about to say. The same.
Yeah, the thinking the skeletons look like they're still sort of haven't done any attack. I'm going to I move 20. I'm going to move actually 10 feet into this other room and just sort of take a look around as the sort of end of my action. End of my turn, sorry.
You would recognize for the people that you're looking at, the Stonehills, Tyrell, as well as Edrin, and then and then a fifth person, who seems to be an older man who's unfamiliar to you.
Okay, and they're both all behind
They're all locked in cages right
cells,
now.
right? Okay. Yeah, I guess the main thing I was looking for is like more Redbrands, but I don't see any in here, right?
Nope. On to Victor.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow into that room.
On to Burke.
I'm gonna go in this room as well.
And on to Ezra.
Yeah, I'm just gonna follow them.
Nothing bad could possibly happen by giving your DM unfettered access to your enemies.
Did we close the door though, boys? Or
And
was it
certainly
Yeah.
close the door.
I mean, shouldn't we finish these things? Finish those things off while they're still gang up on them.
Let's get some help from Ty and Edrin.
How long are
That
they going to
makes sense.
stay turned, Burke?
Another 10 seconds, maybe. I gotta heal myself, man. Because I got fucked up now.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Are we still in combat and turn order, or are we just in free fire now?
As far as I can tell, you guys were leaving the combat, shutting the door. So if you want to stay in combat, you have to let me know. Because again, as far as I can tell, you guys were abandoning those skeletons.
Right, that's what I was
I mean,
doing.
I wasn't planning on all of us doing it. I was just, taking a look in. But Justin doesn't feel comfortable leaving a pair of skeletons behind them.
I would say it is not a good plan to leave them while you have them turned. That you guys should probably kill them now.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
All right. Okay. All right. Well, if that's what we're just doing, that's what we're doing, right?
I mean, we're going to have to fight him if we're trying to get out of here anyway. And at that point, they're not going to be turned. So why don't we just finish them off now?
Okay. So I'm gonna. Wait. Whose turn was it? It was Ezra's turn. Just finished.
Ezra was the last one in. Yeah.
Okay. So, are we gonna roll initiative again? Or are we gonna try and keep the same one?
All right.
Making Mara's life hard here.
Yeah, you guys are definitely fucking both me and yourselves. You ran away from the combat already, as far as I'm concerned. So that's part of the problem of leading into a room like that, is everybody followed you. So my question with you now is, when you guys all get in there and recognize, holy shit, we left the combat behind, what are you all thinking? Because this is taking turns away from the turn undead regardless. You're losing something by losing eyesight on them and closing the door.
I think we just roll with the decision we've done. Yeah.
Well, Justin seeing everyone follow him in is like, saying like, what are you doing? Finish, we need to finish those skeletons off. His plan wasn't to have everyone follow him in.
And what's everybody reacting to as Justin says that?
I would be like, hey, we've shut the door off. We'll deal with them later. Let's get these guys and we'll go back.
Burke, Ezra, what are you doing?
Yeah, I gotta heal
Yeah,
myself.
no, I'm with
so I had to
Yas's
get
turn.
out of
Yeah,
there.
sorry about that. That was a bad idea.
What were you doing, Ezra?
I'm with Yastin. I think we
All right.
probably did.
Yastin, Ezra, roll initiative for me.
Ah, crap. I forgot to highlight myself again.
Yeah.
For a second, I thought you both rolled 0. I wasn't sure what happened. I believed it.
As you open the door back up, the skeletons seem to have moved away, but you can start to act
Ezra, I think you're before me.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just thinking. I'm gonna wild shape, but I'm not really sure how this works.
Bonus action to wild shape. What form are you going into?
Wolf?
Do you currently have the stats for wolf? Did you put them into your wild shape list?
Yeah, I have it. Like, armor class 13, hit points 7. I have in my extras, I think.
Yep. So yeah, you can switch over to a wolf.
How do I do that exactly? Do I press the wild shape?
I mean, you don't have to do anything. You're just bonus action. You're turning into a wolf.
Ah, okay. Is it a bonus action though? Because mine says as an action.
Oh, my bad. You're not Circle of the Moon. I think that's part of what makes the Moon Druids. I've only played a Moon Druid. I'm very used to it being a bonus action, which makes it very much more powerful. So yeah, Ezra's like, yeah, let's go fight him, and he turns into a wolf. What are you doing, Yesin?
I'm gonna head back into the room, up to the this nearest skeleton. I'm going to try insightful fighting on it. You get sneak attack if I can with my bonus action.
It's an actual insight check. I think it's a contested.
Yeah, so my insight versus its charisma deception.
Can't even beat that. So that is a roll that is victorious. You can. It's for advantage. Or is it just for
just for sneak attack? Just for sneak attack.
Yeah,
not
so
for
you can
advantage.
get your
And it's
sneak
for the
attack
next,
on it.
And it's for the next 10, essentially the next minute. So rest of combat, I'm hoping. So I'm going to attack first with the short sword.
10 will miss. But it takes your bonus action, so I don't believe you have a second.
Right. Yeah. Okay. And that's it.
Burke, Victor, you just saw Yastin run out of the room and Ezra turn into a wolf. Are you still standing there?
Fuck.
Yeah. I guess I'll
Alright.
join in since when I see them do that.
I'm gonna run after him.
Yep.
All right, the two of you can roll initiative, but you are surprised, so that is your turn.
I was surprised that that's how it went.
So, Ezra, it is on you. You are a wolf with 40 movement.
Yeah, I'm gonna run up to the skeleton by Yastin and bite him.
$16 hits. What is it? The strength save is to fall prone. He's going to stand tall still. Oh, wait. 11 misses. He is dodging.
Wait, I have pack tactics, I think. I have advantage. Or I'm not sure how this works.
I think dodge is just plus.
Yeah, you get
2,
pack
right?
tactics, so
Okay.
it makes it a straight roll. Your advantage versus his disadvantage. 16 would hit, so it will do 5 damage to him.
Yeah, and then I am done.
It is going to draw a. Let's see. Can't be a femur. I'm thinking of the wrong bone. Tibula? I feel like tibula is one of the double bones, but I feel like that's from the arm, and I want it from the leg. But it is going to draw a bone from its body and strike out at Ezra. 15 to hit for 6 damage. Yeah,
That
13
hits.
nat armor, and you're going to be at, I believe, 5 hit points as a wolf.
Yep, that's right.
and then it will go to Yeston.
All right, so I'm going to attack the same skeleton. First with the short sword.
18 will hit. And that will kill.
Okay, and then I'm going to move, try and essentially move behind this sarcophagus and try and take some cover rather than attacking the last remaining skeleton.
All the way back around to Ezra.
Yeah, I'm gonna run down to the last skeleton and bite him.
That will miss. Oh wait, no, my bad. That's actually a hit.
Is it? Because I don't have pack tactics now that
Oh
no one's
yeah,
near.
true. My bad. I knew I was almost correct. So that ends up being a miss, and it's going to go to Yeston. One of my players is German, and his name is Jan, and I cannot help. Like, my whole family is J names, and I cannot help but every single time I say Jastin, say Yastin.
Oh, no worries.
And every time it sounds like nails on a chalkboard because I know it's not a German character, but I'm so used to that, like, switch.
Yeah, don't, no. All right, so I'm going to move up. Seeing that Ezra's attacked it, I'll go ahead and attack it as well. First with the short sword. I think I'll still have disadvantage, right?
Yeah, I was looking at insightful fighting to try to gather whether it is against skeletons or against that skeleton.
It's just against the single target.
Okay. Yeah, so yeah, it would be back to disadvantage.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'd be at disadvantage anyway, but now I'll have sneak attack because Ezra's next to it still.
You can't get sneak attack while you are disadvantaged.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, sorry. All right, so I'll attack with a short sword.
Does that change you taking a bow strike at it? I feel like that doesn't matter anyways, but
No.
so
I don't. Yeah, because I'd actually dropped the bow in here before anyway, so I don't even have it on me.
Oh yeah, you went for cover. I was just thinking about the bow before. I got you.
Yeah, I was more taking cover in case it's turned end and it wanted to attack. But
8
so
is how many
8
hit points that one had left. It will fall to the ground as the magic dissipates.
Oof. All right.
Nice job, boys.
I'll go ahead and pick up my bow. I guess any arrows I had fired if they're cover.
I like to pick up my gear too that I dropped.
Yeah, and Esther will revert back to human form.
That's a nice trick. I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, it has its advantages.
Can we loot those Redbrands that were there? And the skeletons leave anything, or they just turn to dust and everything goes away?
You can roll an investigation check.
I should probably stop asking this question. Somebody who's got a good investigation should probably start asking.
I guess we could have
One key thing about being the person who asks is that you're able to search. When nobody asks, I move along without giving away treasure.
I know you do. I'm keeping the list, which is why I was thinking about it. But did we find anything?
Jess would probably be checking the sarcophagi. Work searching dead body.
Do an investigation check for me, Essen. You can find 2 silver and a gold as you go through them, Burke.
It was is there anything about this like there's some like I don't know a fire, whatever these lanterns? Are they like anything in there or?
You can roll an investigation for me inside of there. Yes, and as you're going, damn it, I'm still doing it. As you're going through the actual sarcophagi, like most of them seem to be pretty ancient, where most of the things have disintegrated with time. But roll a D100 for me. You find a signet ring worth 60 gold. That's more for like the actual notes than that you actually recognize it as having a value. But you find a golden signet ring. Doesn't really strike a bell as to what it is at present. You'll have to get more information from it. But at present, you have a signet ring.
Okay. After that's all done, Justin's gonna go ahead and move back into the room. Edrin, Tyrell, and the others.
So Ty, the room that you're in, those candles are just like on a low table, and it's just like 3 candles set on the table. It would appear, what is it, morning time? So it would appear those guys were just like kind of splitting some rations, like having a little bit of food. It seems to be like some stale bread and whatnot. As far as like the pile of things to the east of you, you would recognize some of. No, wait, he doesn't recognize any of this. Some of the things seem to be just like mundane clothing. Some of them seem to be a little bit finer items. But there's like a pile of stuff. There's nothing especially interesting on the table, but you find like 2 silver and 3 gold on the table itself. But other than that, it seems like there's like not much going on with that. There's some cards on the table itself.
Cool.
I'm putting all the stuff in the loot list. Is it okay for you guys?
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's-
Did you put the 8 silver that I had found earlier in there? Because I'll take it off my character sheet if it's in the party loot list.
Yeah, I've just been putting everything into the loot list. There's a bunch of money in there if we want to ever go shopping or something. But yeah, I'm just putting it all.
I feel like one of the things I
Okay.
noticed with the party loot list with this group is that it is super unorganized. I think, or rather, I should say, it is super overly organized. Like once somebody takes something, like those things that are marked off as tie, just get those off the party loot list. Once it's on a character, just delete that shit.
Yeah, it's sort of like
Yeah, I'm out.
we haven't really sorted it since in a bunch of sessions. So I've just been keeping notes because we haven't had a chance to talk about it.
Yeah, that's
So
one of the
I'm gonna-
It
things
needs to be
that
like
you
consolidated.
all, that's one of the things that you all have to do, because also with these loot lists, like I like the loot list because I don't want players to be greedy as fuck and fuck people over because they're greedy. But also, you guys don't have a bag of holding, so stuff needs to get dispensed to people because the weight still matters on things. So it's definitely like a double-edged sword. Like, I feel like most of that shit from session 8, I think some of those armors were actually things that you would have given back to Linian. Not entirely sure, but there's definitely a certain level of you guys do need to like deal with your loot list on a regular basis.
Yeah, and we're behind on that because we didn't see Linian. Like we haven't been there to do any business since then. So yeah, we'll clean it up. Let's clean it up on Discord this week.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep the signet ring in my inventory. Out of the party loot list.
Okay.
All right, so right now it seems like everyone but the Stonehills seems to be conscious. They're all starting to come to and recognize you all. And 2 of them are not my NPCs, so I'm going to go ahead as the man to the north kind of stands up and as you're looking over the table with Victor, he's just going to... You don't look like the others. Are you with them?
No. You're actually to come get these two. I pointed oh, actually I don't know. I don't know what they look like. We're getting to we're getting two people. They're friends, whatever.
Yeah, so Burke would have been in the room initially and already have like recognized them. When they ran back out to fight, there is no reason for Burke not to have at least like noticed Edrin and Ty enough to like kind of point that out while you two were surprised. That's probably what those two, like what you two would have been doing while the other two ran back outside. Is somewhat recognizing that it was Edrin and Ty that you all were coming for.
Yeah, those are our friends. So are these gates locked?
Yeah, they seem to be locked.
I'll try. I can try and pick the lock, starting with the one to the south with the stone hills and Ty.
I'm gonna watch the door. Maybe we didn't pull any red off the Redbrands, but if they're still red clothing there, maybe grab that.
Yeah.
What is it? Lockpicking is a dexterity check. And you're proficient with these tools, so you can add your proficiency bonus, so +2. So +5 total.
Just like I didn't see a place to actually just hit for a thieves tool.
I don't think they're set to roll. So yeah, 8 seems like you're not quite able to unlock them. You don't like have any issue with your actual tools or whatnot, but you are having at least enough difficulty that you're not able to get it at present.
We didn't find any keys on those dead guys at all.
I didn't.
I think one of the I think the one who left second, he had a key. I think it's around his neck, or maybe he had it in his belt. He was the last one to have locked the doors on us.
Ah, okay. So I go look at the second one and see if the key is around his neck.
Yeah, so you can search with advantage, do an investigation.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that was Burke's 3.
Fuck. Oh, okay, there we go.
Fat fingers, clumsy.
It was basically Burke going through like looking for coin, instead of specifically like looking for something like a key. But yeah, he seems to have a key like around his neck, and it's just like tucked into like a false pocket inside of his tunic. But you're able to retrieve the key, and are able to open up the doors at that point.
All right. So open both. I want there to be a moment of where like Jason is fucking with the with the lock. I walk up with the key and I unlock it. Kind of look on my face.
much easier. Much
Yeah,
easier
there
that
you
way.
go. Yeah.
So this older gentleman like walks out of the cell to the north after you open the door, and he starts to go through the pile of things on the east side of the room, and he just picks up like one item at a time, and most of the things he seems to like fold and set aside on top of like one of the chairs here and there, but he seems to very methodically be going through here and slowly dressing himself as he finds different items.
What's your name, friend?
My name is Sildar. It's a pleasure to meet you all. Who can I thank? And he just like puts out his hand to you.
Justin will reach out to shake it. My name is Justin Fremont. This is Burke, Victor, Ezra. So you've met our companion, Edrin. And then he'll point out Tyrell to the south, and he's with us as well.
It is a pleasure to meet you all. Are you here for anything, or is this Timora's blessing that I have to thank?
Well, we came in search of our Edrin and Tyrell. Suppose it's Timora's blessing that we were able to rescue you as well.
So you are from the frontier? You are you're miners? Are you... Gather pretty quickly. He's asking more like, why are you in Vandalin?
We were, I come from up north. It was hired to help bring some supplies down. Decided to spend a few days in town and quickly run into some trouble with the Redbrands. One thing led to another, and here we are. Just trying to not give too many specifics, just sort of.
So, let me have you do a deception check with advantage. Quite fortunate for me. I am in your debt. I appreciate very much that you have come here. Fortunate to be freed. Blessings be upon you all. Thank you so much.
And if I may ask, how did you find yourself down here?
I am here by request of my lord. Duties to look into the disappearance of one of my own friends. And I'm afraid, for whatever reason, I wasn't allowed to finish this. I was ambushed upon the road, taken captive some days ago.
Taken captive by the Redbrands. They attacked you on the road.
I'm not terribly aware of what they call themselves, but these thugs here seem to be those who have taken me. I was taken it unawares, though. I've been a little bit complacent in my travels, and one day woke up in this cell.
Who are you looking for? Maybe we've run into him.
My protege has gone missing. I'm not sure how long I've been here for. About the sun, it's hard to keep track. But I believe I've been here around a 10-day, and he would be missing a little over a month at this point.
Does your protege have a name or a description? We've met a lot of people since we've been here.
Young wizard, looking towards Burke, he kind of looks you over for a moment. Do you have any military insignias still on you, Burke?
I don't think I have any insignia, but I have the maker's marks on my armor. So I think he'd be able to
So I
tell.
think he's far enough away that he can't quite see the maker's mark. But you do notice that he seems to be looking over your armor closely enough. I've come looking for my protege. I trained him shortly before taking my leave from the Lord's Alliance, and he was sent here on a mission and has gone without contacting any of our superiors. And they've asked me to come here and, assuming he is dead, take up the mantle that he was supposed to. I am supposed to be the law in this town as far as the Lord's Alliance goes, to try to restore this place to some semblance of safety. The Tribor Road has become a far more dangerous place than even we assumed.
We're glad to see you. This town needs a sheriff for sure.
Yeah. Be nice.
Maybe we can help you with some place.
Well, I believe you have certainly done a lot to free me. I assume that is at least a large part of why I was kept from this town. Though it doesn't bode well that anybody would know that I was coming. It's hard to tell. Have you come across any wizards of late? And he kind of looks back over at Edrin.
I'm sorry. Is Tyrell and Edrin, are they conscious?
Yeah, feel free to have a conversation with yourself. It sucks ass.
Okay. All right.
Well, yeah, mechanically, Ty and Edrin, you have control over your characters again. They are at 1 hit point right now, but you guys have your characters.
Yeah, I was just gonna say Tyrell would step up after he asked for wizards. Like yeah, Edrin's like the only one that I know of.
Well, if it's just your friend, I think it's safe to say you've not met my student, but he will be known as Albrecht. Iarno Albrecht.
So does that make you a wizard too, Ildar?
No. Perhaps protege is the wrong term for it. We served together for many years in the Lord's Alliance. His abilities are certainly different than me. I'm a little bit less subtle about how I handle problems. And throughout this process, he would be getting dressed and be very similarly armored to yourself, Burke. But he's basically like, he eventually finds like a really beautiful hauberk inside of the materials, and kind of like sets it aside until he finds like his actual like padded cloth undergarment to go over, and then slowly starts to actually buckle the armor onto his body. And like throughout this conversation, he is like fully armoring himself to where by the end of about 10 or 15 minutes, this guy is in beautiful, but well-worn armor. There are plenty of like spike hits from warhammers that seem to be repaired, so like the dent is still visible, but it's not like a weak point in the armor. But this guy, he's battle worn, and he is decked out in some beautiful things. But eventually like dons like a longsword and seems to be a warrior of at least recognition to both Tyrell and Burke. Actually, each of you do a history check with advantage for me. Ty and Burke.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And again, with Tyrell specifically.
Yeah, that's why I was switching. I was
Actually,
getting the
I
character
think those
sheet
are
up.
the two soldiers. I don't think Ezra or Victor are soldier background.
All right, give me a second.
Yeah. So, Burke, upon hearing him say Sildar, you would at least have a thought in your mind of a Griffin Rider from Waterdeep. And it's at least viable for you to have some concept of his last name of Hallwinter, though you might recall it incorrectly, but it's kind of like sitting on the tip of your tongue, like, is this who we're meeting? This guy's kind of a legend in the Lord's Alliance. But at present, again, like you've got the insight. He was looking over your armor, like he might recognize you as someone from the Lord's Alliance. But it is up to you whether you want to share that, whether you want to keep it to yourself, because that depends on how kind of the two of you envision your military service, as something that happened in your past and you've left behind, something you'd like to continue to hide, or something that you're more or less open to as you meet this person.
Oh no, I'm open to it. Are you Sildar Hallwinter? Because I served for a short time, but I've heard a lot about you.
So he'll bow pretty like humbly to you, in recognition that yes, that's his name. You seem pretty young to me. Have you served for some time? Are you from Waterdeep? Where do you hail from?
I hail from farm outside of Waterdeep. I served for my first muster, but then I left. I think that the daily grind of the Lord's Alliance is come home to see my aunt here in the temple. But I did my time and I served honorably, but not for a lifetime like you. I don't think I have it in me.
It's certainly a different calling, and war is not the most beautiful of things, but we all do our service in our different ways. Again, you're still serving in some way with what you've done today, regardless of why you've chosen to leave the Lord's Alliance. Still honored to make your acquaintance, Sir Burke. Thank you.
Of course. We'll see how we can help you to put this town to rights. Good to have a leader.
While this conversation is going on, after I saw him like getting his stuff on, I'd like to go find my stuff. Tyrell would like to go find his stuff.
Yeah, you would notice him, like some of the things that he's like folded and set aside are yours, but you're able to kind of go through the same process. Perhaps you are not as careful as he is, basically going through everything. He seems to be
Hello?
honoring other people's things just as much as like somebody would honor their own.
Hey man, I'm here.
Hey. Okay.
Oh yeah, I think Mara, I think you might have cut out.
I thought
oh,
my shit died. I was like, yep.
my bad. I like that part of my Discord was covered up by the D&D Beyond, so I couldn't actually see whether I was still green. You would see.
Maybe Mara lost his headphones or something.
Wait, you guys can't hear me still? Testing,
What key are
testing.
you guys using push to talk? I'm using caps, which is annoying, but it seems like reasonable. Anyone have a
I'm
better
using
idea?
end. Using end.
Can you guys hear me right now?
The only thing is if I'm like on the
Can you get testing, testing?
Can you turn into other things like Yeti and bears and stuff when you encounter those and learn
Testing.
them?
Well, when I encounter them, I can turn into things, but
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, yeah, I can hear
I
you
think
now.
my
Yeah.
Wi-Fi like crashed there.
That happened to me once a bunch of sessions ago, where it like I just couldn't be heard for a while.
No, like I actually like it seemed like it rolled through Discord and then into Roll20. And then I actually saw like my icon go down on my desktop. So I think I'm not entirely sure what it is. I fucking hate internet service in Myrtle Beach. We're like in a monopoly, so I don't actually have any options. But I think that's usually it happens like at midnight, like almost on the dot. They'll roll off the internet. But yeah, I think I was going over. Ty would be able to find all of his gear in there. You would have seen Sildar set aside some of your things. He was pretty methodical and pretty caring with everything that he touched, whether it was his or not. But overall, you can certainly gather everything else.
Cool.
Before I forget, Sildar, on our way out, just be careful about there's a false, there's a bit of a trap hallway. And Jess would just sort of explain how to get past it. He doesn't fall in when we leave.
Are we not going out that same way with all these guys?
That might perhaps be why I... Oh, wait, my bad. Never mind. I said he woke up in here.
All right.
So you guys want to go? You want to go on in this dungeon through that? There's one door left. Back out with the reorg our team.
I'd say we get, especially the Stone Hills, out of here before keep exploring.
Yeah, maybe send up Ty and Edrin together with the others to the first floor.
I mean, if the Stone Hills are still unconscious, right? Is that what you said, Mara?
There's no reason for them not to come too while you guys are chatting.
Yeah, you guys want to like regroup with everybody, maybe take a short rest, feeling like short rest right now, and then go back, or what are we thinking right now?
I think we got to get the Stonehouse to safety. Which probably isn't back to their tavern, but at least upstairs.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so Jess would ask them, like, do they know, like, how did they get down here? What happened to, essentially wants to know what happened to them.
I'm very hesitant to say what happened. And he looks like across to Trilena. If we weren't together, I would have told you I was dreaming. And then she's just gonna kind of like look over at him and like slowly like kind of pat him on the back as like a consoling. We were taken unawares from our home by someone who looked like Toblin.
Hmm. Interesting.
I know my husband pretty well, and when I say he looked like him, he was a mirror image of him, and was a startling way to come to. But we were brought here by some of the thugs shortly after, and we have been here since. I believe, and looking across to like Ty and Edrin, I think we were brought here a day or so before the two of you. I think we've been here for 3, 5 days. It's hard to tell the turn of time.
Funnily enough, I think I believe you. Heard rumors of doppelganger potentially being in the area. I don't think Jason actually saw the second Toblin. I think that would just have been Victor and Ezra, right? And Vanton and Ansel.
Yeah, I think it was the B team with God, I can't even think of her name offhand right now. But coming back.
Charwin.
Yeah, Charwin.
I mean, I'm presuming Jason would recall what he heard about the doppelganger back from.
Yeah, you all have come across the 2 Screeches, and then I think it was King Groll who shared in the swamps that the Black Spider
Right.
had multiple lieutenants who were doppelgangers, and he kind of referenced that it's hard to count doppelgangers when they never look like themselves, but he would seem, or rather they would seem to have multiple doppelgangers working for them.
So I think I believe your story. Glad we could get down here to rescue you. Should probably get you out of here, get you somewhere safe.
And that would certainly be wonderful um if there is safety here. We'll most certainly appreciate the escort out of this place. And perhaps go back to Tribor? Do we? And they just kind of look at each other, concerned, but seem to somewhat be distracted, but more or less, they don't really have much to gather. It's mostly like your actual equipment and things that seem to be in that pile.
Do you think Ty and Edrin got to take their rests when they were there in prison over the day? Are they ready? Are you guys ready to fight? Or
Like, no, they are not on a long rest level.
okay.
Nothing about what they would have been through was relaxing.
I think we could send Edrin and Ty. You could take the Stone Hills and Sildar upstairs to Ansel, and the other person whose name I can't remember. The rest of us could continue, like, poke our heads around this corner and see what's going on. I feel like they'll be safe getting out, right?
I don't know.
I'm thinking get back up to the main tavern area. You've got Ansel and Benton there.
All right, let's
It
all head
doesn't
out as a group
necessarily
then.
have to get overly complicated. If you all want to escort them up to the sleeping giant, that is an option. If you want to escort them and then come back here, that is an option. If you want to show them the way across the trap and tell them that you have backup in the sleeping giant, that's an option. If you want to go up there and take a rest, like, you guys can let me know what you want to do, but you don't, again, like, the map right now, I think, is a distraction for what you want to get done. So let me know what you're trying to get done here.
All right, so I'll vote for let's just hold it down in the sleeping giants. Like, we'll send the guys up there, we'll escort them up there, and then come back.
My vote would be we escort them up there and take a short rest before we head back down. I can
Okay.
use some healing.
Yeah, I could too.
Yeah, Ezra votes for that too.
Go.
Yeah.
Let's see if there's an easy way to do this.
Pile the bodies up behind the bar somewhere.
Tighten the door shut down at the bottom of the stairs.
There you go, yeah.
Can I keep that Python? Justin, I'm finding it very useful.
I've got no need for it now, so sure.
I got some from Leanne when we see her.
So you all can roll and take a short rest at that point.
Wow, I rolled 2 ones. Fuck my life.
Had you already used the hit die?
Not for Victor.
Yeah, you could use your third then. You don't have to decide like ahead of time.
That's fine. I'm only like 5 off. I'm not worried about it. Actually, yeah.
Yeah, I might as well use my third one up too. Just get back.
Me 3.
Yeah, so Edrin and Carvel are gonna have to stay back anyway. This is the conclusion of the short rest anyway, right? Because they're most likely gonna need a long rest. Right?
Hey, Ansel, can we all have some good berries, buddy? Oh, yeah, sure. Let me do that. Hold on a second.
Yeah, would anything have happened of interest with Ansel and Vanton sort of holding the door while we were down there? Like, were there other Redbrands trying to get in, stuff like that?
I think my system just did it again. Overall, no. Everything's been pretty quiet up top. From what you all can gather, they seem to have like made this their central location. You guys have not really spotted any Redbrands moving about the town, and I think as you kind of gather the two groups together, you would be able to share the information that overall in the past it seemed like they kind of slowly make their way out of here as if they had a long drunken evening. But now that you all recognize what the basement actually is, perhaps it's more that there is a barracks inside of the Sleeping Giant.
Okay.
All right.
Well, we're going to head down and looking around a bit to just hold the fort down here, and I guess we'd introduce Sildar to Vanton and Ansel.
Mar, will you allow Ansel to hand out some good berries to everybody?
It's not cost free, but you can certainly do it.
Well, Ansel can generate 10 of them and give one to each of the party before they go down the stairs. One more hit point for everybody who needs it.
So is the plan then to head back in? Each person can carry a single good berry?
Yep. I think that's the plan. What do you guys think?
Yeah,
I agree as well.
And
the other door and that pool to check out.
doing the same group composition, Ezra, Victor, Yasin, and Burke?
Yeah, I'm good with sticking with Justin.
Yeah, I'm sticking with Ezra, so I should stay up.
Yeah, like I was saying, is they probably need to hang out anyway, so it makes sense for us to be back with with.
I think that whole crew should go to the orchard and hang out. What's his name's house? Hide out until they take a rest.
Ethermath form? You mean?
So, Burke, you'd mentioned something about dropping something into that water.
Yeah, let's grab one of the short swords from those guys and put some light on it, and we'll drop it in the water. See if there's anything down there. I'd stand back though in case anything jumps out.
Okay.
That's all on you, Burke.
All right, so I'm gonna do that. Or I'm gonna cast light on one of the short swords from the dead Redbrands and drop it in the water.
Alrighty.
Kind of light up whatever's at the bottom of the thing.
You are able to cast light on a short sword and throw it into the water. It splashes.
And what can we see?
Are you going to go up to the edge of the water?
Of course, yeah. I have to, right?
The moment you're like, we're going to back up, I'm like, well, you're not going to see anything.
Well, I just was worried about Druid and
A
Warlock.
kraken comes up from the water. All four of you are dead.
This is what I was expecting. Yeah.
So, moving on to the B team, up top in the Sleeping Dragon. Or Sleeping Giant. What would you all like to do?
Oh. Shit.
I'm kidding. You guys.
Okay.
I think he's joking.
That was DM humor.
I thought he was. I thought he was actually serious. He quits the screen. I was like, "Fuck."
I think he would have at least shown us a picture or something.
Yeah, like I had a kraken ready.
I
Let
don't
me
know how
actually
Kraken
Google
fits in
kraken
that
real
little
quick.
hole, but
I don't think the pool's that big.
Kraken's a crypto app. Apparently.
Is anybody
That could be
else
the
looking
baby
with
kraken.
Burke, or is it just Burke?
Totally just stupid Burke.
So
Arm.
let me get a
I'll move
perception from Burke.
Working on it. Sorry.
The water seems pretty clear on to the bottom. You can still see some of the light from the sword. From like this side, it's definitely dim to the sword itself. But it kind of just confirms to you that perhaps this is the drinking water that supplied like this secret barracks that was kind of being kept down here.
Maybe they used it for brewing too for the Sleeping Dragon. Do they make their own beer here?
My bad, almost coughed into the mic. Overall, you have not seen any sort of signs that they're brewing their own ale in-house. And I think you all would know that the mead is made by Ethermath himself. And I want to say from Toblin, you've actually heard that the Stonehills import a ale from Tribor.
Well, guys, I don't see much of anything down there. If anybody wants to take a look before I put the light back on my shield, go ahead. But looks like a big pool of water.
All right. Yeah. I don't do anything.
You want to turn into like a dolphin or something and swim around in there?
Fuck yeah.
Cannot use a swim speed ever.
What?
I'm pretty sure Circle of Shepherd will never get a swim speed form.
Actually, I think. Let's see.
Oh, it's just
Second,
low
no
CR,
fire.
but you have to wait till like level 8 or 10. You will eventually get
Fourth
flying.
level.
Okay, swim speed's first, flying is higher level, but you're always limited to the low SCR.
Yeah, because I can only go to max CR1. That's the highest I can go.
All right, so what are the thoughts after Burke's looking in the pool, throws the sword down? What's everyone else doing?
Nah, I can't do shit with this thing, so
Suggest we head back into that sarcophagus room and check that northwest door.
Yeah, Ezra's all for that. You want to know what's behind the doors?
You want to do a perception check, listening for the door? Are you just going to test to see if it's unlocked?
know-
I'll listen at the door.
You can do a perception.
Just back at we're essentially do we make it
again, the map is not that important right now. I need to know what you guys are doing because the maps always slow down groups, and that's part of why theater of the mind is far more important. You guys were on this map to rescue them. I'll throw that out there. Yeah, you don't hear anything from that opposite side of the door. Do you want to check it? See if it's unlocked?
Yeah.
Doesn't seem to be locked.
Okay, I'll go ahead and open it.
Go ahead and open it. You see a hallway about 15 feet long. It seems to be just a small corridor with a door on the east side, on the right side of the door. Seems to be a little bit more secure of a door. This one actually seems to be made of like reinforced wood, like stone, or not stone, like wood and steel almost. Or rather like blacksmithed.
I think I'll do the same thing. I'll try and listen at this door, just see if I hear
You
anything.
can
on the
listen
other side.
again and you hear nothing at all.
All right, are we pressing on?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, I'll move to check the door, see if it's locked.
It does seem to be locked.
Okay, does there appear to be some sort of mechanism I can try to pick?
You can certainly try, yeah.
While he tries that, can Ezra go and check the Redbrands in the sarcophagus room? If they have an extra key there that we missed?
You can certainly look over them again. But they've been searched twice, so it's going to be a pretty high DC. After a moment, you are able to kind of pop the lock. It wasn't easy to get into, but you were able to get through it with your skills, and you're able to pop it open. And as you open it, the room itself is dark, but you pretty quickly see with the light from Burke that this seems to be an armory of sorts.
Okay, I'm going to step inside, sort of waiting for Burke to come in as well, so the light will illuminate the room. Does it seem to be, are most of the does it seem to be like actual weapons there, or is the armory kind of emptied out?
It's definitely not well stocked, but there's certainly an array of weaponry. What would catch your eye were you looking for it?
So I think I would be looking for, always looking for an extra quiver of arrows. Maybe there seem to be any hand crossbows.
Let's see. Roll a d20 for the quiver and then a d20 for the crossbow. I guess really roll a d20 for the quiver and then roll a d100 for the crossbow. Yeah, it takes you a moment to find a quiver of arrows that are like of better quality. And as you're going over that, you actually notice the hand crossbow that seems to be pretty good quality. A few of them are broken, but you find those 2 items. Roll another d20. And you're able to find 4 good bolts out of everything in there. So you can write down another quiver of 20 arrows that you can form up, a hand crossbow, and 4 bolts.
Okay, I'll add that to my inventory.
Anyone else looking through the armory?
Yeah, is there any armor? Maybe I can be quieter if there's something around, like breastplate or something.
Let's see. Roll a d100. All of the breastplates seem to be... I should have looked before I was even looking at everything. All of the breastplates seem to be in pretty terrible condition. Between things like just like eaten through with rust over time, none of them seem to be functional.
All right, well, we have a chain shirt, I guess, from our loot list. Perhaps I'll think about that. But yeah, I don't need any gear. Anybody need anything else?
Could there be any scrolls or potions or anything like that in there?
You can roll an investigation.
Ezra's gonna see if there's like a sling or something like that. Well, slings and bullets.
There doesn't seem to be any paperwork nor any potions in here. Yeah, you can roll a d20 for the sling. Yeah, you're able to find a sling, and let's see what. Roll a d20 again. And then roll a d100. Able to find... You can write down 700 ball bearings. Anything else? Anybody is looking armor or like from an armory?
Somebody's got a sword that's like not +1, the -1 at this point, right? Did we fix that? Or was that Ty?
That's Banton upstairs. I don't think he's told anybody yet. He would probably have, while he was up there holding the fort down, looked for a usable placement. Although I think the Redbrands are all just carrying short swords, but I don't think Justin would know well enough to look for a long sword to give.
Cool.
Yeah, a long sword is a much finer weapon than a short sword.
That's it for me. I got nothing. Nothing for Victor.
Any other thoughts while you all are down here?
There's
Yeah,
no.
is there anywhere else to go? Is there like a...
I was
door to
gonna
the
start
left
looking
there?
look for illusionary balls or something in that room, or in this kind of like this crypt area.
All right, so let me have... How long do you all want to spend looking for other things inside of this place?
I don't know, an hour? Anybody have a better idea? I'm interested in the hallway. I think maybe the hallway is the place to look for door on the other side of the trap.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm good for an hour.
Ezra, Yastin, do you have thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I can, try and look for a secret door on that east end. But probably wouldn't want to spend too much more than like an hour maybe looking.
So just in general, place your miniature where you'd spend this hour trying to look.
Are you?
I mean, I might check the sort of the area up here in the corner as we're leaving the armory, and then if I didn't find anything there, if I had time, come down and check where I just was here.
Yeah, I was gonna say I will split my time here in the crypt, and then the other half in this hallway where they're looking. If I can do that.
I'm looking
Ezra's
that hallway.
basically, yeah. Ezra's gonna look in the crypt room, trusting the others to find if there's anywhere else.
You guys spend an hour looking, and you don't find any secret passages.
Yet.
I think we've investigated about everything we're going to find down here. We head back upstairs.
All right.
I mean, it's kind of a hint that we didn't have to roll for anything. He's kind of telling in here.
Yeah, I know. I was kind of expecting something though. Whatever. All right, let's head on out of here.
Roll intelligence check for me, Victor.
Okay. Didn't actually roll the shit. There we go.
You feel pretty convinced that there's something in this place. Seems off. And it doesn't feel like there's enough time spent. And you're inclined to try to convince these people. Perhaps it's something about your patron whispering in your ear. You just have this feeling there's somewhere else to search.
Yeah, I'll go back. I'll talk to him, be like, hey, there's something else here. I got a really good feeling that there's something else here. Yeah, there's too much like with the skeletons and shit. There's something else going on. All right, so we searched. Oh, sorry. Good.
Should we search the room with the cells?
We didn't. So we searched the armory, we searched the crypt, and we searched the end of the hallway there. Yeah, let's search the cells, and then yeah, I'll spend
Somebody can relook at the water. I didn't do a very good job of that.
Okay. Yeah, I was
Ezra
thinking of the
can-
water.
Yeah, Ezra can take a look at the water if someone else wants to check anywhere else. Or if you wanna-
I will assist you with looking at the water.
Burke is really interested in armory. It seems weird that it would just end the architecture.
I don't think we should split up. So we'd all, I would think, look sort of at the same time, in the same
Okay.
place.
So what are we thinking? Are we thinking armory, or are we thinking the
Water situation.
yeah?
Well, most of us are in that room. So let's all, if we're gonna all stay together, let's do that first.
Yeah. All right. So like, let's just say now. Let's not spend more than like 5 hours down here. How about that?
Maybe we could swim down in the water and like go through a tunnel and come.
Can
We
we
don't know
tell
where the
how
water comes
deep
from.
it is?
When I threw the short sword down there with light on it, it was 10 feet deep anyway.
I'm just gonna go ahead and look down there and see if I can see how deep it is. If that's
Everybody
the idea.
focused on the water?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
believe so.
Justin, Ezra, focused on the water?
Yeah.
Job, Mara.
Yeah,
Everybody's nervous.
Ezra's also focused. Yeah,
All right, so
no,
we're
he's focused on
all
the water.
like standing, looking over the edge into the water,
Yes.
and the Kraken comes out.
Guys can all roll investigations.
Are you trying to teach us how to search for stuff?
Fucking shit, man.
The intelligence check was me trying to teach you all how to search for stuff. Like, you guys have cleared a section of space and you still ended up searching side by side with each other. And your next solution was to, maybe we shouldn't split up and we should all search the same spot. And now I just imagine the four of you all dunking your heads into the water, trying to have a conversation with Bubbleface. So, looking into the water, you all are able to spot that about 4 or so feet down into the water, there seems to be a length of rope that is kind of like tied off to a little hook inside of the actual like fountain itself. And there seems to be a rope that like leads down into the darkness of the water.
Yeah, sorry, I think you cut off a bit there. You spoke.
You heard there was a
you
rope.
lost me again?
Yeah, I lost you at the first rope, I think, when you said.
Okay, so there was a rope into the water about 4 feet down, and it just kind of like leads into the darkness of the water.
Can I cast light on that rope? Like, can I reach down and touch it?
Yeah, if you touch the rope, you're able to... I think light has verbal components.
Yeah, I'm imagining I can touch it and keep my head out of the water.
No, it's like 4 feet down. It's like meant to be out of reach.
Oh, so we have to go in the water.
You basically have to like lean your torso into the water to get to it. But you can, like, before when you lit up a sword, I was going to say you could find like some sort of stone or whatnot to throw into there with light on it. But at present, like, you can't reach in and cast light on the rope.
It's too bad. I like rope light. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'd like to find something I can throw in there.
Yeah, so you cast light on it and you just drop something next to the rope. And what'd you grab? Just like a stone?
Sure, yeah.
And you just see it kind of like float side to side and like tumble a little bit until it passes this little hook that the rope's tied to. And you just kind of watch it. It gets a little bit darker, like clearly it's getting out of the main range of the light, though it still scatters up. But it diffuses a lot more. Like the light, the speed it moves is not the same amount of light that you get outside of water. Until close to the bottom, when it clunks into the base and it stops moving, you actually see a black mass that seems to be towards the bottom of this rope that it is holding.
So I'm gonna take the rope and pull that up.
Pull it up with little effort, and as you get closer to the top with it, you pull up seems to be like a leather like chamois / bag, basically like lowered into there.
Cool. Let's examine that bag and see what it's about. Burke asks, who wants to investigate this object?
So as you open the bag, you see inside a red potion, a clear potion with silver flakes in it, 50 gold pieces, and then some nicer traveling clothes.
Who would have left those down there?
Your
All right,
mic
Burke,
is
are you
open,
talking?
Burke?
I can't hear you.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you're speaking, we cannot hear.
No, I wasn't speaking. I was thinking, but like my browser's crashed, so I was thinking about what to do about that. So can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
So yeah, charge ahead. I will be back. I figure out how to get my crashed Chrome working.
I'm gonna Jess is gonna look through the traveling clothes, see if there's anything identifying anything in the pockets, thing that might point to who left this bag in the water.
Doesn't seem to be anything special about the traveling clothes, other than that they're perhaps a little bit nicer than like most people would travel in. But in general, like, traveling clothes are meant to be rather indescript. You're not like fine clothing. You're also not like rags. Usually they're rags by the time you're finished, but it just kind of seemed to be clothing.
Okay, yeah, so I guess more like looking through the pockets or, yeah.
I feel like the
The other question-
connections today have been garbage. I think Burke and Ty have just dropped.
Yeah, Ty dropped a little while ago, but he said in Discord he should be back in a few, and there he is.
Hey.
I guess the question is, why would someone drop a bag down there? Where did they go afterwards?
I recall.
Well,
Justin is observant.
Yep.
Justin, let me have you roll a perception check at advantage. You start to wonder why this bag is there, and as you look around, the biggest thing that catches your eye is behind Ezra. And very quickly you recognize that there is a secret door behind Ezra, and that perhaps you all have only begun to investigate what is underneath this place.
Okay, so I'm gonna point that out to the others. Sort of move down towards Ezra. And is it like is the secret door like kind of hidden by these barrels to the south, or is it more to
So overall, I would say it's more that you're like recognizing the signs that like nothing is stored up against that area. Like to the north, you can spot that like there's things that like go up and close to this door, whereas this stuff is away from the door, but there's still like clean ground in that point. You notice little signs where like it doesn't seem to be grouted across the stonework like on those vertical lines. Little things where as you're keyed into the fact that this bag doesn't make sense in this place, that's when you start to like open up your perception. And again, most of what that comes down to is like if your character ever really looked around that area, you were going to spot it. But you guys were getting further and further away from ever really paying attention to that area. I feel like Burke was the only person who ever remotely even like had a thought about it, and it was like half a thought related to the pool and gone.
I think the only thought that ever crossed here was if there was a door down here connected like the one.
And that's what I mean. It was like a half a thought of, is there a door there? Nope. And that was like the end of it. But the moment Justin is actually looking around, like he spots the signs that for all intents and purposes, there should be a door there. But that is clearly not a door. It is a wall. And it's only when you actually go close there and actually investigate it that you spot the door pretty quickly.
Well, Victor, thanks for making us stay down here a little bit longer. I think finally spotted something.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna see if I can find a way to get this door open. If there's like a triggering mechanism to open it.
Blast the door. That'd be funny though if it did. Right up after that. We're all looking at this door, right?
Yeah, basically, like with Burke having like the bag in hand, Justin starts to look around and almost like spots the clearing behind Ezra. And with his attention going in that direction, I think he would be sharing with everybody that it's there. So I think it would change everybody's focus pretty quickly to that area. But yeah, you can move over there. It doesn't take you long to kind of spot like the general door, like
The outline.
you don't necessarily, it doesn't take much for you to I don't think anybody in this group has like a crowbar.
I do.
I do as well.
Yeah, so you can kind of get the crowbar into like this area that you expect the door to be, and like some of the grout almost flakes away just like dust, and you're able to like pry it open and start to open it. The mechanism itself isn't immediately clear to you, but you are able to start like maneuvering the door open.
Okay. I guess keep going with that. Maybe Burke, if you want to cast light on your shield again, so we have some light to see by as we're trying to get this door open.
Yeah, Perk does that. He's very happy to do that for you.
Be ready to blast. They'll crack open the door. Be ready to shoot it.
So as you start to slide the door more fully open, you very quickly recognize about a 20-foot hallway, and then it almost like dissipates into a dark black abyss, but there is almost an immediate like cold breeze that comes out of this area as you crack the door further and further open, and by the time you're looking into it, you get this like feeling of actual moving air coming over you, and there's clearly a massive cavern on the opposite side of this. But your actual view is like lost into an abyss of darkness.
Okay, I'm going to try and light up a torch in addition to Burke's shield, and tell the others sort of like there's a draft, sort of essentially just tell them what you just told me about there seemed to be like a big cavern. I don't know if
Everybody
Ezra
would have
and
felt it as
Victor.
well. Like you would have also seen like different lights around the room, kind of.
Yeah, because Ezra and Victor, were you with Sharwin when she was telling about the Underdark? I don't know if that's what this is, but
I don't. I imagine I was.
I feel like Ezra joined up with the second session when you guys would have initially had the option to go into the Underdark before diverting to the temple.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we hand waved Victor into that as if he had been there when she
Okay.
told us that story.
But I think overall, pretty much everybody would know and understand that the Underdark is something to be feared. Like, it's the entire world has like a mirror image underground. Nobody is like really surprised to hear about the Underdark, but it's definitely the thing like you almost don't talk about. But finding an entrance is just more like a shit. Of course, it's right by our house, rather than like, oh my god, the Underdark?
I think this is why the Redbrand's picked this place. Someone put the Redbrands here.
The
Oh,
Redbrands have
should
a
we,
boss, right? They don't
Yeah.
seem. They all don't seem smart enough to be organizing this situation.
Yeah, I don't think the Red Brands don't really know all about this.
Should we investigate?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So you all can move further
Uh,
down the tunnel. Eventually, you come across like where it just opens up into this massive like chasm of darkness ahead of you, and like you can see the floor turn from like tiled stone into like rough stone. Again, this is where the map isn't necessarily important at all. Where like the stone like turns into this like rough hewn stone, and you're clearly have gone from like this basement into a cave. And in the process of like looking into this cave, there's darkness that's just like an impenetrable darkness all around you, but this creepy, eerie feeling of, in part, you're feeling the breeze, but your like body, your mind, your inner ear recognizes that you are in a massive open space, and you just kind of hear little bits of trickling water, but otherwise like an almost eerie silence, kind of like broken by like the wisp of this wind flowing around this chasm.
Yeah, does the darkness seem like resistant to the light from the from the Burke's light spell and the torch? Like, does it seem like it's darker than it should be given those light sources?
As you like look across the ground, like that all seems pretty familiar. The torch itself like flicks across the ground in a pretty similar distance. The light from his shield seems to go a little bit beyond and certainly more consistent. But overall, the darkness doesn't feel any different. You can do an Arcana check, but doesn't feel to be any different. It just seems like you've entered into a massive space.
Yeah, okay. So even with the light essentially just like swallowed up by the massive amounts of darkness around it.
Yeah, like often when I say like it goes into a dark abyss or like an abyss of darkness, I'm talking about the light isn't hitting anything. The light's just ending on air. There's nothing that you're seeing on the opposite end of it.
Like we're outside at night and we, the light just
Yeah,
sort of
like
dissipates,
outside at
right?
night with no moon, with like a new moon, and no stars are visible.
Got it. Okay.
Really big. Well, so let's. Is there a path? Like, is there some worn path on the ground that we can see to follow?
So like as you kind of look around this area, you do spot that there's almost stones like set around in like a semicircle, and they kind of like show a little bit of a sign where you see like the abyss beyond. So there's stones almost like stacked up along this side to prevent you from simply walking over the edge. Though if you walked into these stones, you're already pretty close to walking to your death. And you kind of like trace around these stones in the light from your shield, and you do notice an area where it seems to drop off. There's no stones there. You go a little bit closer, and there seems to be a stairway down to the north. And that too kind of just dips into like an abyss of darkness where you can see 20, maybe 30 feet of stairway like leading off and down from you. It's quite steep. They are not like level, like even stairs, but there's a stairway down into this.
Justin, does it look safe to you?
I wouldn't. Nothing about this seems particularly safe.
Yeah,
It may
no.
make sense to I don't know. I have some rope. We stairs seem steep. Perhaps if we avoid getting separated, if we sort of tie ourselves together so that if one person slips, the others can pull them up.
Or if one person slips, then everybody tumbles down the stairs together.
I looked at everybody like, you don't look like the strongest. I think like the strongest dude here is probably Brute Burke, right? The rest of us are kind of weak. I'm average. I'm average strength. I think everyone's just kind of weak.
I mean, Bert, can you? I mean, I can keep the torch on. If can you want to cast light on like a stone or something, toss it down the stairs and see how far down they go.
Sure thing. I'll do that. Try to roll it down the stairs like a slinky. See how far it'll get.
Let me have a strength check from you. You like take this stone. How big of a stone do you think you would throw?
Baseball size.
You take this stone and you light it up, and you kind of like get to the edge of this little precipice, and like you're overlooking the stairway, and you see what kind of like clues you in that there might be like a level towards like the end of where the light goes, where it like levels off for a moment. And you take the stone and you throw it down, and it like bounces, and it seems to be relatively passing like through a straight line and keeping its momentum as it goes down until it scatters like off onto like this lower kind of landing about like 30 or so feet away from you. And then it eventually like bounces in an odd way, and it seems to like fall off the precipice, and it just falls. And then you don't really hear anything from it.
So
Watch your footing.
who's going first?
And then about 20 seconds later, you hear clunk. And you can see quite a ways down that the stone seems to have landed on a flat spot. And you see a pretty similar image of these small, medium stones like set off on the edge. And your lit stone seems to have almost fallen into a much deeper chasm, but has fallen 75, 150. It's hard to tell how far away it is, but it's fallen quite a ways.
9.8 meters per second. Seconds. That's a long way. You guys want to take
Well, I
this
suppose I
staircase?
can-
It seems like the next thing.
Yeah, maybe take it one at a time so that if somebody up above slips and falls, they don't knock anybody below them off.
What if you tie a rope and I hold on to it, and if there's something down there we don't expect, chance of keeping you out of the hole.
Yeah, we could do that one at a time. So it could sort of have me almost not rappel down, but
All right,
should
that sounds
hopefully be able to reach that first landing. I think I've got 50 feet of rope.
Want me to cast light on you somewhere so that you're lit where, like, as you're going down there, you can see. You don't have to hold the torch.
Cast light on the rope.
Could do that. Cast light on the rope. I like rope light.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I'm not the strongest one. That's what I imagine that I am.
Yep, Burke is the strongest.
All right, so
Average.
let's try that.
So you light up the rope, tie it around Justin. He starts to walk down the stairs, and he makes it to the landing.
Okay. Do I see anything? How wide is the landing that I'm standing on?
Overall, the stairs are about 5 feet wide. There's not a whole lot of stair left or right, and you see that same level of darkness beyond you. By that landing, you're pretty much standing over top of the oh wait, its light would be gone. You could probably remember enough that that's vaguely where the stone fell. So you're still quite a ways up from whatever lower level there is. But the landing itself is 10 or so feet long, but on a 5-foot stair. You didn't really have any difficulty walking down the stairs. It's just probably not a good place to run down.
All right, so I'm gonna call back up to the others that if you start heading down one at a time, just watch your step. Just, take your time, move carefully.
Cool.
Oh, maybe I'll untie the rope from around me and, um, call for Brooke to pull it back up if they want to use it for either Ezra or Victor.
I was thinking you could just keep it, and that would there'd be some light.
I'll just walk down.
The classic tie a rope around your waist is a great way to break your spine in half if you do fall. So I love that that's always like the first thought.
But Batman did it though. He did real good. He was all right.
I feel like it would be like Gwen Stacy Spider-Man situation.
Uh,
All right, so we make it. Do we all make it down to landing one?
Yeah, like essentially once you guys start walking this, you spend about like a half hour or so slowly making your way down these stairs. There's a few switchbacks to it, but eventually you make it to a larger landing that seems to be probably where that stone fell through. And the light actually casts across a like actually constructed form of an old temple, perhaps. You see like very beautifully made stone stairs in, oh man, I can't think of the actual name for it, but like a polygon shape, like it's an actual geometric shape before you that these stairs are constructed in. And there's 3 stairs up to a higher platform, and about 15 or 20 feet wide this entranceway is, where there's walls that stand 15, 20 feet above that platform on each side, like north or to your right and south to your west of you. As you all make it to the base, we are going to end here as you basically stare across what seems to be this ancient temple down at the bottom of this chasm.